So the area north of Campus Drive Road where the suspect crossed over, you saw some of that in the video that we released last night, consists of a grassy area with trees on the edge of the UVU campus. Investigators discovered a bolt-action rifle wrapped in a dark colored towel. The rifle was determined to be a Mauser Model 98 30-06 caliber bolt-action rifle. The rifle had a scope mounted on top of it. Investigators noted inscriptions that had been engraved on casings found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices, bulges, capital OWO, what's this, question mark." Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist, exclamation point, catch, exclamation point." Up arrow symbol, right arrow and symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, "Oh Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow Chow." And a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO." We are indebted to law enforcement across the state who's worked seamlessly together, local law enforcement, state law enforcement, and our federal partners with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. We're grateful for everyone who worked together in such a short amount of time to find this person and to bring justice. I want to thank the public who has been so engaged, reviewing videos, helping us with sending in tips, and helping us get to this point. I want to thank the family members of Tyler Robinson who did the right thing in this case and were able to bring him into to law enforcement as well. I especially want to thank the family of Charlie Kirk, Erica, Charlie's parents, his children. I want us to be thinking of them as we bring justice in this case. They will be involved in that justice. We will be working very closely with them as we move through this process as well. This is a very sad day for our country, a terrible day for the state of Utah. But I'm grateful that at this moment we have an opportunity to bring closure to this very dark chapter in our nation's history. With that, I will now turn the microphone over to the Director of the FBI, Kash Patel.
Thank you, Governor. This is what happens when you let good cops be cops. The FBI and our partners are proud to stand here today together to bring justice to the family of Charlie Kirk and honor his memory. I want to express my deep gratitude to President Trump, the Vice President, and the entire White House who have been so incredibly supportive with both resources and just personally to the FBI as a team. They had our backs the entire way, and I just want to express my gratitude for giving us the resources we need to operate in this space to bring this sort of justice at this sort of speed. In 33 hours, we have made historic progress for Charlie. Governor Cox, our partnership has been absolutely incredible these last few days. Our partnership will endure. Your state and local partners, your sheriffs, your DPS community has been unbelievably impressive in the hardest of times. And a case like this cannot be solved, cannot be brought without partnering with your state and local authorities. The FBI has a certain role to play, and we will play that role, and we will lead out for the federal government. But Governor Cox, we are so grateful for your state partnership that led out on this investigation. A little bit of the timeline. Charlie was shot at 12:23 p.m. on Wednesday. The first FBI agents arrived on scene in 16 minutes with chiefs of police at 12:39 and secured the scene. The FBI immediately launched fixed-wing assets. We utilized these assets to transport personnel, specialty technicians, hostage rescue teams. We also utilize these assets to go back and forth from the East Coast and here in Utah to transport forensic evidence and other evidence that will be analyzed and is being analyzed at our FBI laboratories in Quantico and other laboratories, including the ATF. At my direction, the FBI released the first set of FBI photos of the suspect at 10 a.m. local time on 9/11. Then, shortly thereafter, the FBI reward of $100,000 was released at 10:45 a.m. local. Myself and Deputy Director Bongino arrived on the scene at approximately 5:30 p.m. on 9/11. The governor led a press conference last night at approximately 8 p.m., where at my direction, the FBI released a never-before-seen video of the suspect. We also released new images to the public of the suspect. And just last night, the suspect was taken into custody at 10 p.m. local time. In less than 36 hours, 33 to be precise, thanks to the full weight of the federal government and leading out with the partners here in the state of Utah and Governor Cox, the suspect was apprehended in a historic time period. And I want to highlight what Governor Cox said. This would not have been possible without you, the media, and you, the public. That's why we went so public, so fast, and we're so transparent, and we're committed to that transparency. The crime scene, just a little bit there. It is a large crime scene. State and local authorities, along with federal authorities, processed that crime scene quickly. And I even had the ability to walk through that crime scene and walk through the steps the suspect took to learn more about what was needed and what resources we needed to bear to create a full picture for the FBI and leadership back in Washington. Furthermore, thankfully to state and local partners, forensic evidence has been seized and continues to be garnered. Forensic evidence has already been evaluated at FBI laboratories in Quantico and state and local authorities here. We will continue to process evidence as we see it, as we collect it, and we will continue to deliver to Governor Cox and his team. Last night, we had a total of approximately 7,000 leads. As of this morning, thanks to your great work, we have over 11,000 leads that were called in to the FBI, and we are running out every single lead that we can. Every one of those leads will be run out. The arrest is a testament to the dedication of good law enforcement being great and partnerships in law enforcement, which I've tried to highlight as my tenure as the director of the FBI. There is no better relationship for law enforcement than the FBI to partner with state and local authorities, and you've seen it here in these last few days. The FBI Salt Lake field office, along with our offices in LA, Phoenix, Denver, San Antonio, Las Vegas, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, our headquarters component in Quantico, all participate in the FBI. I want to express my deep gratitude to the employees of the FBI, the men and women, the evidence response team tacticians, the special operators, the agents, the support staff. You have done monumental work in historic time when the public, who had a right to demand such an expeditious solving of an investigation, the FBI answered that call diligently, critically important to our nation, and we delivered. And I'm proud to be their leader, and I'm proud to be the director of the FBI. This is a very much an ongoing investigation, as the governor said, and we will continue to work with state and local authorities to develop the investigation, to provide them the evidence they need for their ongoing prosecutions, and we will be here to answer every call they absolutely have, as long as it takes, for as long as we need to find and apprehend whatever suspects were involved in this crime. Lastly, to my friend Charlie Kirk, rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
Thank you, and good morning. I would just like to take a few minutes as the sheriff to express my gratitude for everybody who has played a part in this investigation. As you know, it's been a vast, a complicated, and a very, very fast-paced investigation. You're looking at people standing up here who are running on, if they got an hour's sleep in the last couple of days, they're probably lucky. It has been very taxing. It has been so impressive, speaking on behalf of the local law enforcement, to see the cooperation that we've seen in this type of case. Across the state, sheriffs, chiefs, our state partners have stepped up and have come to the call on anything that we needed. Our county chiefs have been phenomenal. Our Utah County Attorney, Jeff Gray, who's standing up here with us, has been phenomenal in leading us through this investigation. I would like to thank the federal government for their resources, their assets. Our local team here, our FBI team, has been extraordinary in helping us work through this and bring this person to justice. Most of all, I would like to thank the public, and specifically, I would like to thank the public who turned to prayers and who turned to positiveness for us. I would like to thank them on behalf of the law enforcement community, because we needed those prayers. That's what we needed to get through this. We needed your support, and you gave it to us. We needed your patience, and you gave it to us. And I would like to thank you for the Kirk family, because that's what they need, is your support and your prayers, and that will get us through all of this. So thank you, everybody, for everybody that have stepped up. We've had such a phenomenal response to this. Thank you.
I also want to give a special thanks to the Attorney General and the Department of Justice. Their unwavering support and their commitment to justice is shown true here. And without AG Bondi and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche and the resources they brought to bear, we would not have been able to complete our mission. And I just want to say special thanks. It's an honor to be a part of the Department of Justice.
Thank you again to our incredible law enforcement team who has worked so hard. Sheriff, I got a solid 90 minutes last night, so I'm probably the most well-rested person up here. Ladies and gentlemen, I get the microphone, so I hope you'll permit me a moment just to share a few more thoughts about where we are and how we got here, and maybe a little bit of where we go from here. I don't want to get too preachy, but I think it's important that we, with eyes wide open, understand what's happening in our country today. I've heard people say, well, why are we so invested in this? There's violence happening all across our country, and violence is tragic everywhere. And every life taken is a child of God who deserves our love and respect and dignity. This is certainly about the tragic death, political assassination of Charlie Kirk. But it is also much bigger than an attack on an individual. It is an attack on all of us. It is an attack on the American experiment. It is an attack on our ideals. This cuts to the very foundation of who we are, of who we have been, and who we could be in better times. Political violence is different than any other type of violence for lots of different reasons. One, because in the very act that Charlie championed of expression, that freedom of expression that is enshrined in our founding documents, in having his life taken in that very act, makes it more difficult for people to feel like they can share their ideas, that they can speak freely. We will never be able to solve all the other problems, including the violence problems that people are worried about, if we can't have a clash of ideas safely and securely. Even, especially those ideas with which you disagree. That's why this matters so much. Over the last 48 hours, I have been as angry as I have ever been, as sad as I have ever been. And it was, as anger pushed me to the brink, it was actually Charlie's words that pulled me back. I'd like to share some of those. And specifically right now, if I could, I need to talk to the young people in our state, in my state, and all across the country. As President Trump reminded me, he said, you know who really loved Charlie? The youths. He's right. Young people loved Charlie, and young people hated Charlie. And Charlie went into those places anyway. And these are the words that have helped me. Charlie said, when people stop talking, that's when you get violence. He said, the weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. The only way out of the labyrinth of suffering is to forgive. Welcome without judgment, love without condition, forgive without limit. He said, always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much. A few months ago, I referenced this last night, Charlie posted to social media, when things are moving very fast and people are losing their minds, it's important to stay grounded. Turn off your phone, read scripture, spend time with friends, and remember, internet fury is not real life. It's going to be okay. He again said, when you stop having a human connection with someone you disagree with, it becomes a lot easier to commit violence. He said, what we as a culture have to get back to is being able to have a reasonable agreement, where violence is not an option. Now, again, to my young friends out there, you are inheriting a country where politics feels like rage. It feels like rage is the only option. But through those words, we have a reminder that we can choose a different path. Your generation has an opportunity to build a culture that is very different than what we are suffering through right now. Not by pretending differences don't matter, but by embracing our differences and having those hard conversations. I think we need more moral clarity right now. I hear all the time that words are violence. Words are not violence. Violence is violence. And there is one person responsible for what happened here. And that person is now in custody and will be charged soon and will be held accountable. And yet, all of us have an opportunity right now to do something different. I want to thank my fellow Utahns. This bad stuff happens. For 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us, that somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country. Sadly, that prayer was not answered the way I had hoped for, just because I thought it would make it easier on us if we could just say, hey, we don't do that here. And indeed, Utah is a special place. We lead the nation in charitable giving. We lead the nation in service every year. But it did happen here. And it was one of us. But I want you to look at how Utahns reacted the last 2 nights. There was no rioting. There was no looting. There were no cars set on fire. There was no violence. There were vigils and prayers and people coming together to share the humanity. And that, ladies and gentlemen, I believe is the answer to this. We can return violence with violence. We can return hate with hate. And that's the problem with political violence, is it metastasizes, because we can always point the finger at the other side. And at some point, we have to find an off-ramp, or it's going to get much, much worse. But see, these are choices that we can make. History will dictate if this is a turning point for our country. But every single one of us gets to choose right now if this is a turning point for us. We get to make decisions. We have our agency. And I desperately call on every American, Republican, Democrat, liberal, progressive, conservative, MAGA, all of us to please, please, please follow what Charlie taught me. I'll just conclude with words I share often from a friend and author, Yuval Levin. who was asked if he was optimistic about our country. And he said, I'm not optimistic. He said, I hate optimism. God, that sounds bad. But he said, optimism is a vice. It's this idea that good things are just going to happen. And he said, in the history of the world, good things have never just happened. He says, I'm not optimistic, but I am hopeful. And hope is the virtue that sits between the vices of optimism and pessimism. Hope is the idea that good things are going to happen because we can make them so. I still believe in our country. And I know Charlie Kirk believed in our country. I still believe that there is more good among us than evil. And I still believe that we can change the course of history. I'm hopeful because Americans can make it so. Ladies and gentlemen, we're happy to answer any questions you might have. I cannot speak to that right now.
This is the press conference that is happening and still ongoing in Utah after the shooting suspect has been captured. The shooting of Charlie Kirk, a very popular conservative talk show host and activist who was murdered a couple of days ago. The shooter is Tyler Robinson. He's 22 years old. He's from Utah. And we will talk more about what we have learned. That was the Governor Spencer Cox of Utah, who was just speaking a few moments ago. Kash Patel, director of the FBI, spoke. They have the Sheriff Mike Smith, who spoke as well at the press conference, which is ongoing. If there are any further developments from this press conference, we will let you know about those. But John Hancock and Chris Ranji are with you. When we come back, we will discuss what we just heard here on 104.1 FM KMOX.
You all remember me mentioning my wife's thermostat being broke because of the, the change of women evidently have to go through, which is horrible. People called me asking me, how did she feel about me sharing her insanity? I did notice seeing her looking through a fork at me. So, hey, guys, if your wife, your girlfriend, your better half is looking through a fork at you, look it up. Why? You're going to be shocked. But she's still happy that she's got air conditioning. So you need help. You need pricing. Somebody told you need new equipment. Remember, Bart Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. But guys, look up wives looking through forks at husband. You better change your program around. God bless.
You've got a ton of equity in your home. You're sitting on a gold mine, and you could do so much with all that cash, like travel, invest it, or pay off debt, but you can't touch it unless you sell your home. But you really don't want to move. And besides, homes are sitting on the market for a long time these days. You're trapped, right? Well, not with TrueHold. With TrueHold, you can cash out your equity in as little as 30 days. And listen, you don't have to move. You can stay in the home you love as a renter. So that's TrueHold's Sell and Stay program. You cash out your entire home's value and stay put. TrueHold even covers property taxes, property insurance, and essential repairs. So imagine using that equity to travel, invest, or pay off debt and stay in your home. It's brilliant, especially in this slow market. You get an all-cash offer now by calling 1-855-300-9993. You can also visit TrueHold.com, the smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's TrueHold.com.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at my favorite sports fantasy app, Underdog. So baseball's still going on. Football is back, and Underdog is the best place to select entries and win money all season long. You can play right now in Missouri. Playing on Underdog is super easy. Just choose whether your favorite player will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. Get your entries right, and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. You can play with as little as $1. Download the Underdog app today and sign up with promo code Glover to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code Glover. Millions of fans have already won billions making plays on Underdog, and you could be next. Underdog, make plays, win money. Must be 18 and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. If you're concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Right now, it is 75 degrees and sunny in St. Louis. AccuWeather Real Feel is 83. The high today is going to be in the mid-90s, high 90s this weekend, and into next week. The weather brought to you by S&L Coins.
S&L Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call S&L. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. S&L Coin.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. Auto repair bills are through the roof. $3,000 to replace the transmission. $4,000 for a blown engine. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection Plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done at the certified mechanic of your choice, and they're paid directly with no middleman. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, lockout services, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement. A $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again, so call now for your free quote. Call 800-380-9012. 800-380-9012. Again, that's 800-380-9012.
Hey there, cats and kittens. It's Brian from The Commercial Break, the mediocre comedy podcast where my best friend Chrissy and I attempt to make sense of the world. We talk about the absurd, the ridiculous, and the stuff no one asked for, like internet weirdos, pickup artists, and why everyone is obsessed with crystals and colonics. It's all got to stop. The show is free, it's frequent, and it's probably not for everyone. You can go to tcbpodcast.com, subscribe at youtube.com/The Commercial Break, or check out the show wherever you listen to podcasts. We'll see you on the next commercial break, and best to you.
The Chris and Amy Show on KMOX. Brought to you by St. Louis Union Station. Twists, turns, and tons of fun await the new rides at St. Louis Union Station.
Chris and Amy Show, 104.1 FM KMOX. John Hancock, Chris Ranji today with you. The press conference in Utah is ongoing right now. Spencer Cox, the Republican governor there, is still speaking and taking questions from the press, which is assembled. Kash Patel, director of the FBI, spoke this morning as well. They had their sheriff, Mike Smith, who spoke. And so here's what we have learned, John Hancock, who was in for Amy today. What we've learned is that Tyler Robinson is the suspect who is in custody. He's the suspect in the shooting and murder of Charlie Kirk a couple of days ago at Utah Valley College. He's 22 years old. He is from Utah. His family, and all reports were that it was his father who had turned him in. And he had confessed to his father that he had done it. His father had turned him in. Also, they had spoken to a roommate of his as well. So we didn't get a ton of detail about this, except we did find out that there were writings on the bullet casings.
Yeah.
And some of the writings were things like, "Hey, fascist, catch. What's this?" In reference to a song called Bella Ciao, which is an Italian song that was written or sung after World War II. And there was also a message that said, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO." So this sounds like somebody who was, and according to Spencer Cox, the governor, he had become more political recently. We don't know exactly what all his politics are, though it sounds like he was an anti-fascist. And it was not something that was, I suppose, important to him up until recently. But we didn't learn a lot more about him or what really motivated this. We know it's on the bullet casings, and that's about it at this point. We also know that Spencer Cox yesterday said they were going to pursue the death penalty, though I don't think he mentioned that today. I didn't hear him say that. So in Utah, the death penalty is a thing, and that's what they are going to pursue here, John. So you heard everything that was said. Kash Patel really talked about the job that law enforcement did in apprehending him, and it took about 33 hours to get that done. Didn't hear much from the sheriff, but when all of the things that you heard, what are your initial thoughts?
Well, it's a 22-year-old kid. He's obviously troubled. You don't take that kind of action if you're thinking rationally. And we don't know much about him. We don't know much about his motivation, and don't know much about his family dynamic. I guess he had a roommate, so he was living away from home. Don't know what his status of employment was or was not. So there's a whole lot to be learned. I am grateful that he was captured alive, because at least in that case, you're going to potentially be able to get some
detail.
Detail. You know, I hesitate to say answers and explanations, because there's no rational thought process that would lead somebody to think it's a good idea to go shoot and kill another human being. And that's what this is. And, you know, we've seen the course of political violence over our nation's history. It goes back 160 years. And the folks that do these kinds of heinous crimes have a multiple number of reasons, or illnesses, or combinations of both. And, you know, sometimes the explanation is the guy was mentally insane. And we don't know if that's the case here. But we will, because they did capture him alive, hopefully at least get some closure and some indication of what drove him to do this. And I think, you know, if he in fact is the one who pulled that trigger, he picked the wrong state to do it in, because Utah is a very aggressive death penalty state.
Oh, and they'll convict him.
Yes.
I mean, if it appears to, I'm assuming this is the person, right? And we don't know with 100% certainty, but it seems right. You know, I mean, all the evidence from what we're being told appears to be there. That's going to happen. He'll be convicted, and that's going to be his fate, I think.
I think that's right. And of course, here you're subject to federal charges as well. There'll be a jurisdictional question between the state of Utah and the federal government over which entity is going to take the lead on prosecuting. There may be joint charges in both jurisdictions. There may be trials in both the state and federal jurisdictions. That's all going to play out in the future. I think in the short term, you have trying to get at some motive, if there is one. And then you have the real essential concern that I have is, are we in a pattern, an unending potentially pattern of political violence in this country that's going to go back and forth? And I certainly hope and pray that's not the case, but we've seen an escalation. There's just no question about that. I saw a study yesterday. The Center for Strategic and International Studies said there have been, in the last 5 years, 3 times as many attacks and plots uncovered, more in the last 5 years than there were over the prior 25 years combined in terms of political violence in this country. That's a real concern and a real problem. And I've not been particularly satisfied with much of the rhetoric on either side as it relates to this. A lot of people have said the right things. Right things to say is easy. It's obvious. And there's been a lot of not right things being said on the left and on the right in the wake of this shooting.
Well, let me say this. I think one person who has been just exceptional in the last couple of days is the Utah governor, the Republican Spencer Cox.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Who he has had the exact right tone. He has not blamed any political side. And let's be honest, I don't know if this guy is in fact a left winger. Maybe he is a left winger, like a hardcore left winger. His parents apparently were registered Republicans, so we don't really know what his politics were or what changed them. If he was on some, crazy message boards, who knows what he's been doing, and we're going to find out more about that as the days and weeks go on. But what the governor has not done is say these crazy left wingers or these crazy right wingers. He's not done that. And there has been violence that has existed on both sides, but it seems like what we're doing here is like the president the other day, which I thought was disappointing, the day of the shooting, who had an opportunity to speak, and he did. He posted a video on Truth Social, and in that video, he just went over the list of all the left-wing violence, but did not mention the Minnesota legislator who was murdered in her home, did not mention the arson at Josh Shapiro, the Democratic governor of Pennsylvania's home. He did not mention Paul Pelosi, who was attacked in his home. This has existed on both sides here, okay? And I don't care anymore to debate or talk about, well, who's done it more? It kind of doesn't matter at this point. It really doesn't, because it just needs to stop. At some point, the cycle has to stop, and the blame has to stop. And everybody needs to stand up and say, I don't care who's more responsible for this violence. It doesn't matter. We all need to tone it the hell down. It's like two people in a room fighting with each other. It doesn't matter which one of them is more right, because they're both kind of wrong, and they both need to sit the hell down. And somebody needs to stand up and say, all right, that's it. Just stop this, because it can't get out of control. We saw a bunch of bomb threats were sent yesterday. The DNC received some threats because of all of this going on. That stuff's got to stop. It has to stop right now. And I'm not here to talk about blame anymore, because it just needs to be over. Because like you said, John, if it continues down this path, it will get worse.
Well, I see no indication that it's going to be over. We live in a culture that is quite toxic in a lot of ways, and we live in a information environment that is new and different than anything any of us have experienced in our lifetimes. And the immediacy of the news, the fact that we're getting feeds on social media showing the moment that somebody's life ended, that's new in this country. And there's nothing that's going to put that genie back in the proverbial bottle. And you do have inflammatory voices in extreme parts of the ideological spectrum in this country. And and it just, in my small, tiny little part of the world in which I reside, I've lived to see a transformation of the way we do politics in this country. It used to be, when I got involved back when I was this kid's age, the job of a political campaign was to build consensus. You wanted to appeal to as many people as possible, and you typically positioned your ideological moorings were positioned from the center to the right or from the center to the left. And that's the ground on which we fought campaigns. Today, American politics is about division and dividing, and both sides do it. And you divide the country into us and them, and you work hard to ensure that the us side of that equation is more than the them in any given election. And you just look at the messaging of campaigns, go back and look at it from 30 years ago, and we are in a completely new place right now. And I don't see that, sadly, I don't see it changing anytime soon.
A couple of years ago, I used to say people, generally speaking, want the sides to compromise and reach a good middle ground. And I think that was true. I don't know that's true anymore.
There used to be a pretty broad middle ground where most people were, and maybe that still exists in this country, but I'm not so sure anymore.
Yeah, I've got very little confidence in that anymore. Maybe I'm wrong. And I do want to talk about that with you, and we will continue to do that throughout the day today. But when we come back, we're going to turn our attention locally, because Sean Malone, reporter from the KMOX newsroom, has some information on the ex-Missouri Speaker of the House, John Deal, who has pleaded guilty to fraud charges. So we will talk to Sean Malone covering that story next on KMOX.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody. Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Get ready to step back in time and admire some of the coolest cars in town while supporting our local veterans. Enter your beauty on wheels for a chance to win trophies or just stop by and admire these iconic rides. It's the Kauffman Fund's inaugural Heroes Appreciation Car Show, Sunday, September 14th, 9 to 3:30 at the Bonnin Towers parking lot in Town and Country. For details and to register your ride, visit thekaufmanfund.org. Rev your engines for our veteran heroes.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
It's back, and you're invited to join us in Forest Park, September 19th and 20th, for the 53rd Annual Great Forest Park Balloon Race Weekend, presented by PNC Bank. Attendance is free, and the number of memories and photos you can capture is endless. Special thanks to New Ground International and Blue Moon Brewing Company. The 53rd Annual Great Forest Park Balloon Race Weekend. For more details, visit the events page at kmox.com.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friend Mark Cantor at Cantor Injury Law. So as you know, I'm a lawyer, so I take this very seriously. Mark is a great attorney. He has a great team. He is from St. Louis. He is local. Call 314-628-9999 or visit cantorinjurylaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
It's the Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX, sponsored by the St. Louis Aquarium. Explore the St. Louis Aquarium at Union Station.
Chris and Amy show on KMOX. Only got a few minutes here, but John Hancock is in for Amy today. Sean Malone, KMOX reporter. Let's get an update on what has happened. We've been focused on this national story about the murder of Charlie Kirk, and the suspect has been caught. They believe they have the person who's done the shooting. But here locally, the ex-Speaker of the House in Missouri is in some trouble, Sean.
Yeah, it was quite the mystery going into court yesterday. It was listed on the docket as USA versus defendant, and a lot of us in the press got a tip of, hey, this is someone that's formerly involved in politics, and there's probably going to be a guilty plea after the waiver of indictment that was on the docket as well. So everyone was kind of sitting there wondering, okay, who's this going to wind up being? Who's this going to wind up being? And, a bit of a blast from the past with John Deal, who's been out of the headlines for or at least out of politics for quite some time. He was the former Speaker of the House, and he pled guilty to one single count of wire fraud because during the pandemic, he took a loan from the CARES Act for $379,000 that was supposed to go to his business where he was the lone employee, and instead spent it on a large number of lavish personal expenses.
Okay, so that's not what you were expecting to happen, I suppose. What happens next then with John Deal?
Really, at this point, we just wait till sentencing. He was released on bond after pleading guilty, and we'll see what his sentence winds up being. He could face up to 20 years and a fine of $250,000. He has already paid restitution, prosecutors said during the hearing, so he doesn't have to pay back that money or at least he doesn't have to continue to pay back that money that he stole from the government. He's already done that, apparently. So really at this point, he's just out on bond. There was a little bit of a back and forth during the bond hearing about mostly logistics around him and his home in Utah. He has a second home out there that they say he visits quite frequently. And the defense just wanted to avoid having to do paperwork filings every single time he wants to go out there. And the prosecutors were basically just like, look, we have no problem with him going out there, but just he's got to file the paperwork every time so that way we know where he is at all times. And basically the judge, kind of split it down the middle. Is like, look, fill out the paperwork, but it's about 2 months. It's December when he'll be sentenced. So 2-3 months there. Kind of like just fill out one thing of paperwork for all the times you plan to visit, and then we'll allow that, and that's kind of how both sides came to the agreement there with his bond. But other than that, there's no real new updates that will come between now and sentencing when he learns how long he's going to spend potentially behind bars.
So the maximum sentence is 20 years. Is there a minimum sentence for this particular wire fraud charge that we know of?
I don't know if there's a minimum. I don't know that he'll get away with a slap on the wrist here just because of the amount of money that was stolen. This is a question more for our legal analyst, Brad Young, than it is myself, but they were going over the point system to determine, what kind of punishment there should be or how severe the wire fraud was. The points went up quite a bit just because of the amounts that he had stolen, but then it came down quite a bit as well because this is a first-time offense for him.
Right.
He paid the restitution. He's pleading guilty as well. So I imagine the recommendation that's going to come from prosecutors, which has not been made yet, the recommended sentence may not be as high as if he tried to fight this out in court.
Charges are federal, correct?
Correct. They are federal charges.
All right, Sean Malone, we appreciate the reporting. Thank you for talking with us today. And if you find out anything more, let us know.
Will do. Thanks, guys.
Sean Malone from the KMOX newsroom, who is out on assignment. I didn't even think it was about this. He was doing a completely different story, but that guy's everywhere.
He's a busy guy.
He really is.
And what a great name, Sean Malone.
Sean Malone is a fantastic name.
It's a great name.
So John Deal, huh? Why do we? Does it seem like we have an inordinate amount of politicians who do things they're not supposed to?
I don't know if it's inordinate.
In Missouri?
Yeah, I think the political class is not much different than any other group of people as far as whether you're looking at attorneys or folks that teach school. You're going to find bad actors or people who do bad things in all of those professions. So, I mean, politics, because it's so high profile, I think it's kind of a bum rap sometimes. But, I know John, and, I'm saddened by this.
John Hancock, I wish you had been elected when you ran. And do you want to know why?
Why?
Because you never would have done anything like this.
Well, the people spoke.
There'd have been hey, you should have elected John Hancock. There would have been no wire fraud.
I gave them every opportunity.
Well, there would have been no wire fraud. There would have been no pandemic fraud. No fraud at all.
Well, you never know.
Elect John Hancock, the no fraud candidate.
See you next hour.
Hour 2 of the show is coming up, and yes, there has been a development in the Charlie Kirk assassination case. They got a suspect. He is in custody. You'll hear more about that at the top of the news here, top of the hour with the news. Then we'll talk to Scott Jagow from the KMOX newsroom. 3 good things in roaming St. Louis next on KMOX.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Do you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is letting everyone know about great debt relief options now available to help people with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of your credit card debt. Get a free debt relief consultation when you call 800-201-7676, 800-201-7676, 800-201-7676.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want to boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments, including pills, chews, and more, 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Winner of the National Edward R. Murrow Award for Breaking News. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Cardinal Cowboy here. After a coma, a miracle, and the fight of my life, I made it back to the games wearing my signature cowboy hat and jersey. Then came the baseball pants, the replica trophy, and the smiles and joy from the young fans. That's when the Cardinal Cowboy was born. Renner Garage Door knows how to bring joy too. With top brands like Delden, Amar, and LiftMaster, and family service you can trust, get your free repair or replacement quote today. Forward and back. Giddy up!
RENNER, RENNER.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight, focusing on the Siteman Kids program at St. Louis Children's Hospital and Dr. Mohammed Abdul-Baki.
We have a large global program that people do not know about, thinking this is St. Louis and in the center of the country, and we get consulted on a large number of international consults.
Thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, go to siteman.wustl.edu.
It is 10 o'clock, and right now in downtown St. Louis, we have 78 degrees with sunshine. I'm Debbie Monterey. Police say they have the person suspected of fatally shooting conservative political activist Charlie Kirk. CBS's Jared Hill has the latest.
Hours after the FBI released images of the person suspected of killing conservative influencer Charlie Kirk, this morning in an interview on Fox News, President Trump said a suspect is in custody.
With a high degree of certainty, we have him.
He left some palm impressions. There's some smudges, some places we're looking to collect DNA. There's a shoe imprint where we believe the suspect is clearly identified as wearing Converse tennis shoes.
After leaving Utah Valley University, they say the person crosses the street into some nearby woods. There, investigators say they found a high-powered bolt-action rifle.
22-year-old Tyler Robinson had reportedly become more political in the run-up to the shooting and had indicated to a family friend afterward that he was responsible. Charlie Kirk was actually answering a question about gun violence and mass shooters when he was shot. A staunch supporter of the Second Amendment, Kirk has said in the past that some gun-related deaths were necessary to preserve the Second Amendment and other God-given rights. Utah's governor is calling for the death penalty for Robinson. St. Louis County will officially recognize Hispanic Heritage Month this morning with raising a flag in Memorial Park. That flag designed by artist Jose Garza in collaboration with the Hispanic Festival, Regional Arts Commission, and the Latinx Art Network. The event takes place at 11:30 in Clayton. St. Louis is losing its immigrant population after years of gains. Last year, St. Louis ranked first among the nation's top metro areas for percentage of growth in its foreign-born population based on 2023 numbers. But last year, that population declined 2.1%, the steepest decline among top metros. Those figures come from American Community Survey data compiled by the U.S. Census Bureau. St. Louis University demographer Ness Sandoval tells the Business Journal a major issue for the whole region is the decline in households with children, which could lead to population decline soon in St. Charles and Jefferson counties. 2 vacant lots on Broadway will become the next pocket parks in the city of St. Louis. Samantha Smugala with the group Pocket Park says they'll be in the Baden neighborhood in North City and Marine Villa in South City.
They really build community. They help with safety and security. The more people that are around the space, the safer it is. And it can even lead to some organic traction and economic development and more people wanting to be in that space.
Pocket Parks inviting volunteers to help prepare garden beds, plant, and water in Marine Villa September 20th, in Baden on October 11th. The business desk sponsored by Krentz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com. The Labor Department reporting a rising number of unemployment claims and higher prices, especially at the grocery store. The annual inflation rate was at 2.9% in August, up from 2.7%.
The economy is going to be a little bit tough. You think about the Federal Reserve, they are meeting to make that interest rate decision next week. They're going to look at these inflation numbers and say, yep, they went up a little bit, but we need to focus on the job market. That is the bigger problem right now.
That's CBS's Kelly O'Grady reporting. The weather is sponsored by FanDuel Sports Network.
Mostly sunny and hot with a high of 95 this afternoon, then mainly clear and warm with a low of 71 tonight, high 98 for tomorrow. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zayer on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now it's 78 degrees. Cardinals fans, FanDuel Sports Network is your TV and streaming home of the Cardinals. Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network and stream the Cardinals or watch through your TV provider. Visit FanDuelSportsNetwork.com for details. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
The Chris and Amy Show on KMOX, brought to you by St. Louis Union Station. Step into the next chapter of family fun at St. Louis Union Station, where new rides bring fresh excitement to a timeless destination.
From 32 yards, Prater made it, and the Bills open their final season in this stadium with a stunning comeback win.
The Bills make me wanna shout, kick your heels up and shout, throw your hands up and shout.
Puke. Loved it. Absolutely.
Hour
loved
two.
it. That's my team.
Hour 2 of the Chris and Amy Show. John Hancock is in for Amy. I'm Chris Ranji. At 11 o'clock, or excuse me, at 10 o'clock on Fridays, we talk to Scott Jagow from the KMOX newsroom because he roams St. Louis. He has 3 good things for us on Sunday. And then he always chats with Stu Mack.
Mm-hmm.
So we have all of these great segments that happen Sunday morning, and you can hear them here. But we need to get to something first because Scott's Buffalo Bills had an improbable, amazing, incredible comeback win on Sunday night. And that was really, really something, Scott. And I was very happy for you.
Thank you. Are you being sincere?
Yeah, I was happy for you at the time.
I mean, since then, the Bears have lost. And so you probably got a little more sour.
I think, as I've said, and I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I've already done it, but the Bears are getting a new stadium. They're going to build one. And I think that instead of building a new stadium in the suburbs, which they're going to do, they should build it right out in the middle of the lake where nobody can get to it.
That's not a bad idea. Well, the Bills are building a new stadium.
Yeah.
This is the last year at their current stadium, which Ralph Wilson built in 1970.
Yes.
And the year I was born, actually. So the stadium's as old as I am. And something around then.
Well, it's got to go.
It's got to go. It's definitely got to go.
Everything that age has to
I
go.
know, exactly.
I've got a trivia question.
Okay.
I've got a Bills trivia question, and
Uh-oh.
I'm quite confident that our friend Scott Jagow is going to be able to handle
see.
with aplomb.
Okay.
All right. Whose rushing touchdown record did Josh Allen tie last Sunday evening for the Bills?
Thurman Thomas.
Yes, I knew you would get it. Is that not remarkable?
It
I mean,
is.
Thurman Thomas, a Hall of Fame running back.
Running back.
The Bills, by the way, are my team because back in the day, I played Madden football with my father-in-law.
Oh.
And the Bills were my team.
Yeah.
Jim Kelly, Andre Reed, Don Beebe, and, of course, Thurman Thomas in the backfield. But it is remarkable that a quarterback has tied that 69 touchdowns for a career already. Josh Allen is a marvel.
He is. He is something else. He's inexplicable almost. That comeback was pretty much all him. And he's a great human being as well.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to have him in the league. And I think the league needs guys like that.
Yeah. Okay. What do you got for us now? Yeah.
Well, I want to finish out this story here since you took me back in time to the early 90s Bills. Of course, they lost all 4 Super Bowls in a row. Everybody knows about that. But during that run, they had an even more amazing comeback than the one they had on Sunday. They were down 28-3 at halftime against the Houston Oilers then, now the Tennessee Titans.
Bum Phillips, Houston Oilers.
That's right.
Yes.
28-3, second half starts, first play, interception for a touchdown. Now it's 35-3 Oilers. And what happened next? I remember that day so clearly. It was January 3rd, 1993.
Amazing.
And I had to drive from Atlanta to Chapel Hill, where I was living. 6-hour drive. I got there just in time for the game because the Tar Heels had been in the Peach Bowl. So I went down to cover them for the radio station. Anyway, I get home. Game starts. I pop in the VCR tape so I can record it. At halftime, they're down 28-3. I go in and take my luggage out, hang up my clothes, and then I go, you know what? I'm just going to turn the tape off.
Oh,
I turned off the VCR.
Your dauber was down.
Then, as the comeback started, I decided not to jinx it, and I kept the recording off because they were scoring a couple touchdowns. Like, all right, I'm not turning it back on. And then afterwards, this was the day of VHS. You couldn't go online and find it on YouTube. For years, I was so distraught that I didn't have a copy of the comeback.
Lost the second half.
I didn't have the copy of them coming back and winning that game.
But now you've got YouTube.
Oh, wait a minute.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now I can watch it anytime I want.
Now, yeah. Yeah, but that was a remarkable game. And that was a remarkable team.
Everyone in Buffalo, you ask, everyone says they were at that game. And they couldn't possibly be. And a lot of people left at halftime. They tried to get back in by climbing over the fences.
This was just this past Sunday.
No, we're talking about
I'm talking about the
1991.
Well, did it happen this past Sunday? Because a lot of people left that game, too.
I know people left. But in this case, people were trying to get back in. And finally, the security guard just gave up and let people come back into the game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you kind of have to at that point.
Yeah.
Well,
I was disappointed people left, but I understand. I mean, Ackerman said he turned his TV off.
Yeah,
I came this close. I came this close.
I did not.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't turn it off. I could never turn it off.
I was so completely beside myself when they missed that first down call on the Josh Allen scramble.
Yeah.
And then the Bills didn't challenge the spot of the ball. I was so disheartened by that. I said, okay, I'm done.
Yeah, I was.
But then
I
had a change of heart, Scott.
I'm glad you stuck around.
Hung in there.
And the kicker was on the couch.
What a story. What a story.
He was coaching Pee Wee football on Thursday, and they red-eyed him to Buffalo. Most of the team didn't even know who their kicker was or who he was. Matt Prater, 41 years old.
Good kicker.
Long time.
Solid kicker.
And they asked him.
Yeah, so we shouldn't act like he was an accountant. I mean, this was a guy who has had a career.
Oh, yeah, I know. But they asked him, have you ever been a part of something like that? And he goes, yeah, in the Tebow days, which shows you how old he is.
Oh, he's been around.
Yeah,
his kid is a quarterback.
That's crazy.
I mean, yeah.
Anyway, it was fun. You don't get many moments like that, so I enjoyed it.
We won't have another one like that this season, I don't think. I mean, that was
a heck of a game.
That was that was a top 10 regular season game.
I will tell you, this is before we move on here. I think what will happen is the Bears might have a significant lead one day. If they do, there's your candidate. There's your candidate in the fourth quarter to cough it up like they just did on Monday.
I don't know.
10-point lead with how much left?
Yeah,
whatever.
That team is not. I had higher.
Totally understand
for your whoever they are.
Well, you know, there's a lot of relief. There's a lot of relief in following a team of any kind and learning after game one that it's over. because you don't have to worry for the rest of the year. It's done.
Come on.
They may have a month like the Cardinals had back in May and get your hopes up, and then only to dash them in a dastardly manner after their true identity is revealed.
Well, but I think it will happen much sooner for this stupid Bears team. Anyway, Scott. So
He's roaming.
Jerome St. Louis.
Actually, I didn't get anywhere this week myself because I've been dealing with my
your arm
surgery, and it was a rough week. But Stu made it out somewhere, and I'm not even going to tell you where it is. It's going to be a surprise on Sunday morning. It's fun, and I turned roaming St. Louis over. It's in Jefferson County.
Is it a 2-segment surprise?
Yeah, 2 segments,
Oh, wow.
8:20 and 9:20 on Sunday morning. So we will have a roaming St. Louis, and Stu will be in charge of it. And in speaking of Stu, we did chat with Stu Mack, of course. A little somber, of course, this week. You know, you can't really avoid the Charlie Kirk assassination as we shouldn't. We should be talking about it. And so Stu and I do. He actually went to the Arch and interviewed people. I found it fascinating. He interviewed a Venezuelan man who his English was okay, but he said, I speak better in Spanish. So Stu said, go ahead and tell me in Spanish, because Stu's wife is from Bolivia and speaks fluent Spanish. So he took it home and she transcribed it for him. And the words were very powerful, what this man said about, Charlie Kirk, and what his mission was to have political discourse be more about debate, less about violence. And he said, I don't have free speech in Venezuela. You have free speech here. Protect it, but in words matter. Let's use our words and figure things out. That's why I like Hancock and Kelly's segment so much, because they have a civil discourse. That's the way it should be.
Yeah, and one of them is wrong most of the time, but the other one's not trying to kill him. Like that's really the thing here is that I identify with a political ideology, but I don't want the other side to die. I mean, And I can have a strong disagreement with other people, but if we get to a point where you can't convince others that your idea is the correct one and therefore you got to kill them, then we have a problem. And it does exist on both sides. I feel like
100%.
I feel like over the last couple of days it has been it's just left-wing violence, and it's not. It just
obviously
very simply is not. So there are people who are on that side who are trying to perpetuate that. And it really bothers me because it just isn't true. It exists across the spectrum, and people and I have been praising him for a couple of days now, the governor of Utah, who is a Republican, has been awesome in messaging on this. And he has not been blaming a side. He has been saying we all need to tone it down, and he is correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's interesting what's happening culturally in the political realm. Many people in our society have deeply held religious views, but all of us get a little uncomfortable when we're walking down the street and somebody's got a bullhorn and they're telling you you're going to hell, and that's a very rare sighting in the United States today. What used to be a very rare sighting in our country is people going around just spouting their I'm not talking about Charlie Kirk. I'm just talking about rank and file people just running around spouting political views. And today, unlike any time in my lifetime, we are wearing our political views on our bodies, whether they be hats or T-shirts, or that wasn't the case in the 1980s and 90s. I mean, rarely would you see people that would just put their political views out there for all the world to see, and oftentimes done in a manner to make people angry. Had that guy kicked out of the soccer game a few weeks ago for wearing a MAGA hat. And, that's different in this culture today than it was before. And I think everybody feels like the world is entitled to their political views.
And social media
drives it
huge
everywhere.
Factor here.
Yes.
People quickly get incendiary and get worked up, and we have, a lot of people with mental illness that can't handle this stuff. And we get a lot of these people are young. They're young men specifically. They have some sort of mental health issue. I think there's obviously a thread there.
Yeah.
that we need to figure out how to solve.
We don't know what this guy's problem is. Tyler Robinson, 22 of Utah. He is the suspect who was captured today. And I mean, we're going to learn more about him in the days and weeks to come.
No
but
doubt.
we don't really know what his mental illness is. I mean, you have to have some kind of mental illness to do this.
Yeah.
Something's got to be wrong to think that I have to get on the roof of this building and murder this guy.
Yeah.
And what I said yesterday was we can have, look, if you don't like what somebody has to say, if you want to shout them down, fine, but you don't get to gun them down. You don't get to shoot somebody because you don't agree with them. If you want to yell back at them, fine, that's free speech. It's obnoxious, but you can do that. You don't get to kill them.
Well, and when you shoot and kill somebody, whether it's for political reasons or on the street because you want their wallet or whatever it is, when you shoot and kill somebody, more often than not, it is a death sentence for the perpetrator. I think that's going to be the case here with this Robinson kid. And, those consequences, people have to consider them, and they go and do it anyway. So that tells you right there that there's some kind of mental problem with a person that would do that. They're either hopeless or, I mean, who knows, but there's obviously an underlying issue there. This kid that was on the roof that shot at Donald Trump, we know nothing about him. We don't know his motivation. We don't even know what his politics were. We know nothing.
We know he was registered as a Republican,
Yeah, I mean,
but I mean, he had a list of people that he was considering, and there were Republicans and Democrats on it.
And we don't know what was driving that kid. At least in this case where they captured the guy, he's alive. They're going to talk to him, and I mean, he may not say anything. Doesn't have to, but I do hope I hope we find out what was motivating him, and maybe it was as simple as he was nuts.
And it could be that he was looking for a bit of notoriety.
Could be. That's often
because
the case.
if you go back to Lee Harvey, the part of his thing was that he just felt like he wasn't important enough, and he thought he should have done something big. And
John Hinckley.
And there you go.
John Hinckley.
Yep.
He did it for Jody. I mean, You just don't know what drives people. But the underlying reality is that they have killed somebody. And the underlying reality is that they're not all right upstairs, and I think that's probably pretty close to universal.
Scott Jagow, you've got Roaming St. Louis, Three Good Things, Chat with Stu Mac. That's all Sunday morning here on KMOX.
And don't forget Hancock and Kelly and
Greece.
Ackerman on sports.
Greece is going to join.
Hancock's
what's his name? Kelly.
Right,
it'll be afternoon there, so you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, a couple of cocktails.
You never know.
Wow, that'll be a fun morning.
Yeah, it will.
6:30 to 9:30 Sunday morning on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Scott Jagow, appreciate you.
Thank you, guys.
Chris and Amy, 104.1 FM KMOX.
When it comes to baseball in St. Louis, there's one station that's all in. KMOX. At noon, it's the Gas House Game.
Let's talk some baseball.
Smart, unfiltered conversation with real baseball minds. At 5, the Redbird Rush Hour delivers sharp insight, fresh takes, and the latest from inside the clubhouse.
Now the pitch.
And when it's game time, we bring you every single pitch, all season long.
It's a gunner!
Others talk sports. We live Cardinals baseball. 104.1 FM KMOX.
Tomorrow, some of us will wake up and it will be our last day on this earth. It will be unexpected and without warning. Each year, 250,000 people will die from medical malpractice, the third leading cause of death in America. 43,000 will die in a car or truck crash. 6,000 will die working on the job. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan, and we represent many of these families. It's awful. Unfortunately, many times some of these family members are not speaking and never get to say, I'm sorry or goodbye. If you're at odds with a loved one, listen closely. Pick up the phone. Call them. Say you're sorry. I promise a huge burden will be lifted from your heart and your soul will be renewed. Even if you're not wrong in your own mind, it doesn't matter. Death is bad enough. Death without closure and love will follow you the rest of your days. Trust me on this. Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different.
Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights, at home or at work. We'll make your happy place your own. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Well, we have a new client here, a new partner to the show here on Chris and Amy, with both Amy Marks Kors and me, and we love them. It is Krentz Financial, and the guys there, Todd Krentz, Justin Brown, Kyle Bush, just wonderful guys. Love talking finance with them. And for over 6 decades, Krentz Financial Group has helped people in St. Louis, families, businesses, plan with purpose and also live with confidence and help you reach your long-term goals. Krentz Financial offers all kinds of services tailored to your needs. They know life can throw a lot at you. So if you're prepared, that's the good thing to do. And having an expert by your side gives you the confidence and assurance through life's changes. For example, maybe you're going through a divorce or a loss of a loved one or an inheritance or starting a business, whatever it is. Maybe you're selling your business. They can be there for you at Krentz Financial to provide all the resources you need, the long-standing support and thoughtful guidance that you need to plan ahead. And even if you've changed your job, you don't want to leave your 401k behind. At Krentz Financial, they can help you navigate that. So a lot of people worried about retirement. Krentz is the place to go. And what you want to do is visit their website, kfgadvisors.com, and eventually get a point where you're talking to Todd or Justin or Kyle. That is kfgadvisors.com.
Feel like your paycheck barely keeps up with your life? At the seminar, learn how real people are building passive income and retiring early using real estate. It's all happening live in St. Louis with Lifestyles Unlimited, September 27th and 28th. You'll leave with a step-by-step plan to change your future. Text radio to 88007. That's September 27th and 28th. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007 now.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
It's the Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX. Sponsored by the St. Louis Aquarium. Explore the St. Louis Aquarium at Union Station.
You know, every week on the Chris and Amy Show, we provide for you a question of the week.
That's nice of you.
Yeah, because we want some interaction from the people. We want you to follow us on Twitter at Chris Amy KMOX. You would not believe the content there. All kinds of feet pics. Wow. No, what we do is we give you a question of the week. And this week's question, John, because we've got legal sports betting coming to Missouri December 1st. So we are under 3 months away from that.
People voted for that.
They did vote for it. And it kind of barely passed. But it did pass.
It did.
So the question of the week is, once sports betting becomes illegal in Missouri, will you partake? And so it's a very simple response. Yes, no, or maybe. We have the final results.
Bring it.
No is the winner with 46.5% of the vote. People say they will not partake in legal sports betting in Missouri. 40.9% say they will. with 12.6% saying maybe.
Well, if they're saying maybe, they're gonna gamble.
They just don't want to admit it.
Right.
But this is an anonymous poll.
No, I get it. But if they're saying maybe, between all of the advertising that's ensuing and all of that, I guarantee you that the vast majority of that 12% is going to end up casting at least one bet.
You going to do a little sprinkle, John?
Nope.
Nope, never?
Nope.
Not even $1?
Nope. I don't even play the lottery.
You're not going to download the FanDuel app and,
buddy, I'm
$2
not
wager.
going to do it. And because I know I am a, what do you call it? An obsessive kind of personality.
You're an addictive.
I'm an addictive personality.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I get into something.
Like snooker.
Yes, a great example.
Yes.
Great example. And I'm all in. And I know myself, if I start gambling and meet with a little success, look out. So I'm not even gonna go there in the first place.
All right, man. Well,
so I will never lose $1 gambling on sports.
And by the way, if you do have a problem, it's 1-800-GAMBLER.
That's
Give
what it
that
is.
number a call because there are people who do have it. But I personally am looking forward to sports betting coming and it being available for us. Look, you don't have to bet $1,000.
No,
you can bet $1.
Yes,
bet $1 on a game.
The whole key, though I am not a gambler, I will share this acquired wisdom over many. I've lived a long time. The whole key to gambling is you got to know when to hold them. You need to know when to fold them. Right? Mm-hmm. It's important that you know when to walk away, and it's extremely vital that you know when to run.
But when do you count your money?
When you're sitting at the table, Ron.
Okay.
That's
actually not what you're supposed to do.
No, you never count it when you're sitting.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
because there's time enough for that after the dealing is all over.
That's correct.
Yeah. So that's kind of how you do that.
Dale Schilly is the City SC Academy Director, and you can hear him on the broadcasts on Y98 when our local soccer team is in action.
You ever play with Silly Putty?
I have.
Yeah, Tula's into it right now.
Silly Putty?
Yeah, loves it.
Well, I love it too.
Well, I'm just saying, Dale Schilly's going to be with us here in just a minute.
It's not Shilly Putty.
It's not Shilly Putty. It's Silly Putty.
City SC plays Montreal tomorrow at 6:30.
Montreal's got a team.
They do.
Who knew?
I did.
Wow.
Says so right here. Montreal's got it. Yeah, so we're going to talk to Dale Schilly.
Learn something every day.
When we come back on 104.1 FM KMOX. And, of course, if there are any updates in the Charlie Kirk shooting, they do have the suspect in custody. We'll bring that to you here on KMOX.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Hey, it's Debbie Monterey. If you or someone you know has a home to sell, call Gloria Lou. That's right, Gloria Lou, owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria is here with me now. And when it comes to St. Louis area market conditions, what advice do you have for home sellers in today's market?
Well, most importantly, I understand every seller's situation is different. Some sellers need to sell, and some sellers want to sell. And a lot of my sellers are looking to buy, and they also have a home to sell. My advice in this uncertain market is to get an upfront written guarantee. That way, you know exactly how much you stand to make with your home sale. My guarantee sale offer is simple. I'll sell your home at 100% of market value, or I'll pay you the difference.
Take it from me, Debbie Monterey. Sell with certainty and an upfront written guarantee with Gloria Lou. 314-325-6888. 314-325-6888. Or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Right now in St. Louis, it is 80 degrees. The real feel is 88. The high will be 94. It's going to be mid-90s for the next several days. The weather brought to you by the Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company, PennMutual.com/STL. Are you considering life insurance? Well, Penn Mutual's accelerated client experience makes applying for life insurance fast and easy. Ask your independent advisor or go to PennMutual.com/STL.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friend Mark Cantor at Cantor Injury Law. So as you know, I'm a lawyer, so I take this very seriously. Mark is a great attorney. He has a great team. He is from St. Louis. He is local. Call 314-628-9999 or visit cantorinjurylaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
Your garage door is always there for you, rain or shine. Are you taking your garage door for granted? Is it screeching and whining for attention? Trust Overhead Door Company of St. Louis to keep your garage door reliable. Maybe the old weather stripping needs replaced to keep out the cold and hot air. Call Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Trusted here since 1926. For same-day service, call 314-781-5200 and schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Tom Ackerman here for Busey Bank and Building Community. We honor the St. Louis Kaplan Feldman Holocaust Museum for using the history and lessons of the Holocaust to reject hatred, promote understanding, and inspire change. Visitors to the museum are empowered to translate the history of the Holocaust into meaningful action to make our community stronger. Visit the St. Louis Kaplan Feldman Holocaust Museum in person and online at stlholocaustmuseum.org.
This is Pat Buring, Executive Vice President of Busey. Building Community is creating bridges that bring people together. A visit to the St. Louis Kaplan Feldman Holocaust Museum reminds us that by rejecting hatred and embracing understanding, everyone feels safe, valued, and connected. A community where everyone thrives is what building community is all about. Join Busey. Get involved as we continue building the communities we call home.
The Chiefs, the Eagles, this Sunday. Pre-game at 2, kickoff at 3:25.
Touchdown, Kansas City!
You can hear it all on 97.1 FM Talk.
A surprisingly short injury time period does bring the game to an end. Final score 1-1. St. Louis City and FC Dallas.
Oh, cool. Another tie. City SC will play tomorrow against Montreal on the road. And joining us to discuss that is Dale Schilly, City Academy Director, and you can hear him on the call with Joey Zanaboni, who you just heard a moment ago, on Y98, 6:30 game tomorrow. How's it going, Dale Schilly?
It's going okay. Getting ready to head north.
So my partner, Amy, who is out today, I've got John Hancock with me, but
sorry,
she really has a problem with these ties in soccer. As a soccer fella that you are, do you have a problem with them?
No, I'm okay with it. Particularly when you start looking at having to play on the road and what that point means when you're playing away from home. I'm okay with it. But I've also gone on the other side, with my work with the 2 team, we don't end in ties. If we're tied, we go to a PK shootout, much like in the NHL, where you get a point for winning the shootout, or you end up with just to give you 2 points, so you end up with just 1 point for the tie and a loss in the shootout. So, I'm okay with the tie, but the other part is kind of exciting as well.
Why doesn't MLS just do that? Why not?
I don't know. I wonder if it has something to do with FIFA and the governing body of soccer across the world, I'm not sure that there's any leagues around the world that are at the top level league in their country that they do a shootout to determine a winner. So it may have something to do with like a national governing body, but I don't know. Fans would like it.
Yeah, I think they would. You have a resolution there. So everybody goes home. They're either happy or they're sad, but they're not that sad if you lose in overtime because you still get the point, like in hockey, which I kind of like. So it's been a rough season, Dale. I think we'd all agree it's been a pretty rough season. And I know that MLS has one of the most complicated salary cap rules in professional sports. But my question is this a league that you can turn around in a 1 year time? And you would probably have a good insight on that since you're coaching the academy. Can a team like City turn this around over the course of an off season?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think that's one of the things about the league. It was built for parity. It was built for teams to be competitive with each other to help just keep fan interest and whatnot. Nashville would be an example. Nashville a year ago in, July, the end of July, changed coaches, named BJ Callahan as their head coach. And I don't think he started working with the team immediately. I think he kind of sat off and watched for a while. Then he started coaching the team, did some off-season stuff with them. And this year they're in contention for Supporters Shield, which is the highest point total in the league. Last year, they were in 14th place when they made the switch. So it can absolutely happen. Cincinnati would be an example as well, where a couple of years ago, they made change in their leadership at the sporting level and at the coaching level. Pat Noonan, being a St. Louis, former St. Louis and DeSmet High School graduate, took over the team as the head coach. And within a year, got them into the playoffs, and now they've been the last couple of years in the top 4 or 5 in the Eastern Conference. So yeah, it's really just a matter of working through your lineups and making the appropriate changes, but it can happen in a blink of an eye.
So Dale, this team has lost 9 games on the road in a row. They are 1-11-2 on the road. Why has it been so difficult away from home?
Well, I think it's been difficult both at home and on the road.
I was trying to be nice, man.
Yeah, you were nice, but yeah, it's been hard regardless. Whether you want to talk about injuries, you want to talk about the roster, whatever it was, coaching change, whatever you want to say. It's been hard for us to get results wherever. And, particularly on the road, as you said, just the one result and nine consecutive loses. Yeah, it's been a tough year. And I think, as it starts to snowball once you lose a few games and you can't get it turned around and you lose whatever momentum or positive energy that you had. It's a difficult thing to turn around.
Did I see correctly that our coach 2 coaches ago, Bradley Carnell, has gone on and having some quite good success yet this season?
Yeah. Are you putting salt in my wounds? No, for sure. Bradley's a very good coach, terrific person, and he's having a great year up in Philadelphia. We played them earlier in the year up there. They beat us. He's had a really good year, and without looking at the standings in front of me, I want to say he's in the top 2 in that conference. So he's had a great year. It's not surprising. He's got a good roster. He's got good players, and seems to be a good fit for him.
Do soccer coaches have the same kind of relationships with their players that you see, like baseball? You see sometimes a manager, they'll say he, quote, lost the clubhouse. Does that sort of thing happen in professional soccer as well?
100%. Yeah, no, 100%. That's a big situation that happens, particularly when things start getting away from you and you start losing some games. It's an important characteristic of managers in soccer is being able to manage just like you do in any other sport. You have to keep the locker room in check and keep guys pointing in the same direction. Culture and environment are huge. And, that's a big part of the success of the team, not just the X's and O's and the fitness levels and all that. It's how are guys relating and what's the relationship like between the staff and the players.
Dale Schilly, broadcaster on Y98. The game tomorrow is at 6:30 against Montreal. We will be listening into that. Also, Dale is the Academy Director for City SC. We appreciate you every Friday joining us on the show, so go get a win tomorrow.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you.
That is Dale Schilly, again, with us every Friday. I got John Hancock on the show with me today, Chris Ranji. Amy is Oot. She's in, where is she?
Colorado, buddy.
Oh, she
in
is?
the mountains out there.
She's in the mountains?
Well, that's what she said. She may
Oh.
not have actually gone there, but I mean, that's what she purportedly
I
told
think
our listeners last week.
I think she's in Greece.
Earlier this week. Well,
I think she's in Greece. Michael's in Greece, but they will never see each other.
That's fascinating.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. When we come back, it's almost Christmas season, which means it's almost time for the Trans-Siberian Orchestra to come through town. And they are going to. They'll make their stop in December at Enterprise Center. Al Petrelli, music director and guitarist of Trans-Siberian Orchestra, next on KMOX.
Frank, did you get the mail?
Coupon, Medicare, AARP. Oh, wait, this one says open immediately.
First one in the trash.
Every day we're bombarded with messages that we don't care about. Problem is, there might be an important message in there that affects you, like retirement. For example, on September 23rd and 25th, Steve All of the All Financial Group will be hosting a Taxes in Retirement seminar at Stone Summit. From the big beautiful bill to taxes on your Social Security, Steve will cover it. It's a complimentary event, but seating is limited, so reserve your seat today. Call 636-230-8824 or online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
What about this coupon for a new lawn service?
We live in a condo.
So?
On the 3rd floor. Mom always said I shouldn't have married you.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult a qualified professional or guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
The KMOX City SC Soccer Showcase, presented by Michelob Ultra, is back. Next stop, Hot Shot Sports Bar and Grill in Arnold, Thursday, September 18th. A limited number of fans can get an autographed picture from City SC player Timo Bunkardel. Win great prizes, enjoy great food and a cold drink. Hot Shots in Arnold is a place to be Thursday, September 18th from 6 till 8 p.m. for the City SC Soccer Showcase, presented by Michelob Ultra. For more info, KMOX.com/events.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Cardinal Cowboy here. After a coma, a miracle, and the fight of my life, I made it back to the games wearing my signature cowboy hat and jersey. Then came the baseball pants, the replica trophy, and the smiles and joy from the young fans. That's when the Cardinal Cowboy was born. Renner Garage Door knows how to bring joy too. With top brands like Delden, Amar, and LiftMaster, and family service you can trust, get your free repair or replacement quote today. Forward and back. Giddy up!
RENNER, RENNER.
Hey guys, it's Kevin Wheeler. Struggling with low energy, performance issues, or weight gain? Game Day Men's Health has you covered with testosterone therapy, ED treatments, and more, all in a relaxed environment that's like being in a man cave. At Game Day, you get a free testosterone test and consultation all in just an hour. Game Day is the premier men's health clinic with 3 area locations in Chesterfield, O'Fallon, Missouri, and Glen Carbon, Illinois. Visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com. That's GameDayMen'sHealth.com and get back to the top of your game with Game Day Men's Health.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX and the free Odyssey app.
Chris and Amy Show, 104.1 FM KMOX. John Hancock is in for Amy. I'm Chris. Thank you for being with us today, with you until 12 o'clock. Then it's the Gas House Gang. But time to go to the guest line because December 23rd at Enterprise Center, they're coming back. Trans-Siberian Orchestra will be here a couple of days before Christmas. And this is always a lot of fun, this show.
Always love it when it's before Christmas and not after, because some years they're here after Christmas.
Oh,
Still a great show.
This could not be a better day.
But Christmas Eve is perfect for the Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Ghosts of Christmas Eve, the best of TSO and more. That is the name of the new tour. And Al Petrelli, the music director, original member of the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, is with us now on KMOX. Good to talk to you again, Al. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. How are you doing, sir?
We're great. We can't wait to have you here in St. Louis once again. And as we always talk about the tour that you're on, every year we talk. So what's different about the tour this year?
Absolutely everything, my friend. I mean, we had a great run last year. You guys were fantastic. Great show, great crowd. Everything was just spot on. And I got home on New Year's Eve day and celebrated our family tradition with my wife and my children and the whole family. And then the second week of January, everybody involved started scratching their heads saying, how do we outdo last year? Now, I have a group of people that I affectionately refer to as the repeat offenders who come back year after year after year. And they're there to see their holiday tradition, but I owe it to them and I owe it to, Paul O'Neill, who created this whole thing, to make it better, make it different enough to keep everybody on their heels. So we've been working on it for, 9-10 months now. And I think we're on to a bigger and better show again.
Well, it's going to be phenomenal. I'm a Rutgers graduate. I'm going to go out on a limb. Are you from New Jersey?
Long Island.
Oh, okay.
Not too far away.
Not too far away.
Area, brother.
So how did you tell me about Al's career prior to Trans-Siberian Orchestra? Were you a gig musician? Were you recording? Were you part of a band? Is there a before TSO and a after TSO for Al Petrelli?
Well, there's nothing after TSO, but before TSO, I had a great run of it for a long time. A lot of live work, a lot of studio work, doing a lot of records with some incredible artists, both male and female, all different genres of music. I've been a student of music my whole life, and I will continue to be a student of music. I don't want to just be a rock guitar player. I just want to be an all-around musician on guitar and piano and some other instruments. And all my workings with all these incredible artists, unbeknownst to me at the time, were getting me ready for what was to become the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, working for Mr. Paul O'Neill. You're talking about obviously familiar Christmas themes, but a lot of works by the great composers, a lot of rock and roll, a lot of R&B, a lot of acoustic work. So it really tapped into my entire upbringing musically. Ever since I seen the Beatles on Ed Sullivan in '64 when I was a kid, I just wanted to be a really good musician. And that whole run pre-TSO prepared me for sitting in the chair next to him saying, he'd say, hey, could you play a guitar solo on this? And I do. He goes, oh, that was kind of cool. He's like, that was very lyrical because I had a lot of experience with soundtracks from show tunes. A huge fan of Leonard Bernstein. And then he'd say, well, can you play this Mozart symphony? I'm like, yeah, give me the score. And I could read real well. So everything was an education for that one first downbeat in winter of '95 when we recorded Christmas Eve Sarajevo 12/24.
Al, every time we have you on, we talk about the variance in the crowd, that you've got people literally who are just so different and sometimes sitting next to each other. And you can look down and see, here's this older person, and then here's this younger person who looks like they're in a biker gang. It's just, it's a very diverse crowd that comes to the TSO shows.
Well, it's funny you say that because one of my favorite stories to tell is opening night at the Tower Theater in Philadelphia back in 1999, our first show ever. And the house lights went down, the curtain came up, and I looked out in the audience and I almost had a heart attack because right in front of me was this older couple, like grandparents' age, wearing, those crocheted reindeer sweaters. And right next to them was sitting a dude wearing a Slayer hoodie.
That's pretty cool.
And that was kind of like, well, this is our audience all over the place, But why wouldn't they be? Because, Trans-Siberian Orchestra music encompasses everything, all the good in all different genres of music. And I'm really proud of it. And I'm proud at so many differences in our audience. And again, now they're coming back 3 generations deep. People who brought their kids back in the early 2000s are now bringing their grandchildren.
Yeah, it's such a good show. And a lot of just phenomenal original music. And I was struck by, I don't know how many years ago it was, but Beethoven's Last Night, and how you built around some of those gorgeous melodies and created this music. What inspired, I guess Beethoven inspired it, but was there anything else that drove you to looking at that classical art form and turning it into rock?
That was all Paul O'Neill, my friend. I got to tell you, he was much more well-versed in the classics than I was at that time. I've done a lot of studying in the last 30 years, but he knew that stuff cold. And when he decided he wanted to write a story about the great composers last night on Earth, he just dug into, his catalog and he said, okay, I'm going to use this symphony here, this movement here, this piece here. And, Leonard Bernstein had an incredible quote I read once regarding Beethoven, and this could pertain to Paul O'Neill as well, that great art should always be accessible, but never ordinary. And I found that fascinating, that Paul's stories and the musicality that he drew from was always accessible, but there's nothing ordinary about the way he did it. He really had a brilliant knack for making these arrangements very palatable for people like me who didn't get it at first.
Al Petrelli and the Trans-Siberian Orchestra performing over 100 concerts in 64 cities, and they'll do it in 48 days. They're coming to St. Louis on December 23rd at Enterprise Center. I know, Al, that some of the money from the ticket sales will go to local charities, and over the years, something like $20 million you've given to charity with these shows.
Yeah, well, again, I appreciate you bringing that up, but I'm going to, it's all Paul O'Neill. I met Paul around 1985, and we'd be kicking around New York City, going to studios, going to different clubs, going to get a slice of pizza at Ray's, whatever it was. And every time I turned around, he was stopping to hand somebody a $5 bill, a $10 bill, whatever he had in his pocket. And he looked at me and he goes, look, man, that money's not going to change my life, but it may change that person's day. And maybe they got a shot at a better tomorrow. So again, when we did our first show in Philadelphia back in 99, he had found out that it sold out in like 45 minutes, which was amazing. And he said, as a show of appreciation, we're going to take $1 from every ticket sold and put it back into the community. And we're going to do that for every ticket sold forever. And I think last year we clocked in just about 21 million tickets sold. And, I'm very proud of Paul because he did change the world. And I'm proud to help carry on his legacy.
Well, we are excited to have you back in town again, Al. It's always fun when the show comes in, and I know people will be there. It will be packed. It will be a lot of fun, and people of all kinds will be there at the show. For tickets, which are on sale today, trans-siberian.com. Trans-siberian.com, and you can get tickets to see the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. The tour is called Ghosts of Christmas Eve, the best of TSO, and more. And our guy, Al Petrelli, friend of the show, will be there performing, the music director, guitarist, and original member. Al, good to talk to you again. Can't wait to have you back in St. Louis.
I can't wait to be back. Thanks so much for the time today, guys, and have a great rest of your day.
Go get him, Tiger.
Will do, brother.
Trans-siberian.com to get tickets. It is December 23rd at Enterprise Center. It's a fun show.
It is a very fun show, and that is the perfect night. I mean, literally the perfect night, the Christmas Eve. You get all jazzed up with Trans-Siberian, then Christmas Eve, which is magical, and then Christmas Day, which is just the best.
You know what else is magical? The football season.
Yes, it
NFL season is magical for everybody except for me. It's time for our No Prize Pick'em Challenge.
Can't wait.
We have the NFL, the No Prize Pick'em. We have our celebrity guest, which is the fire chief of St. Louis, Dennis Jankerson.
Great guy.
We also have our listener, Josh, who is participating. He's going to go up against John Hancock and me,
Likely
Chris
a great
Ranji.
guy.
That is next on KMOX.
Is your home, business, or church looking tired, chalky, or in need of curb appeal? Go Rhino. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Our unique 3M ceramic technology is perfect for brick, stucco, aluminum, steel, color lock masonite, and more. It's backed by our 25-year transferable warranty to not chip, crack, or peel. Great if you're staying, and even better if you're selling. Our ceramic coating allows you to maintain all of your architectural features. The decision to do vinyl will leave your home looking like a plastic moldy box. With Rhino Shield, in 15 years, your home will still have that, wow, it looks like you just got it painted. We've done large condo complexes, parking garages, pole barns, and commercial strip malls. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. Evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Let's go. You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Some things can steal your sunshine. Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call the Lance Story Law Firm today and let us get between you and the IRS. We'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney team who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURY, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
It is 11 o'clock, and right now we've got sunshine and 83 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey. Utah's governor says the Charlie Kirk assassination suspect is believed to have acted alone and that the investigation is ongoing despite his arrest. The man accused had allegedly expressed to family his opposition to Kirk's viewpoints. The shooter was identified as 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, and police say he was turned in by family members. CBS News correspondent Carter Evans is in Orem, Utah.
I asked the governor if they expected any other arrests or if he acted alone. He said
They believe he acted alone, but it is still under investigation, and that could change.
Governor Spencer Cox warning that political violence metastasizes, with one side pointing the finger at the other, and appealed to elected officials to resist assigning blame. He said social media is a cancer on our society right now. In Kathmandu, Nepal, grieving relatives mourn as they leave a morgue where the bodies of protesters and an officer killed in the protests were taken. Street demonstrations started Monday in Kathmandu over a social media ban that turned violent, with protesters attacking government buildings and police opening fire. Though the ban was rescinded, the unrest continued. At least 51 people are dead. The U.S. Figure Skating Championships will be held in St. Louis in January, the springboard for the Winter Olympic Games in Milan, Italy. Tickets are on sale now for the most prestigious national figure skating event returning to St. Louis for the first time since 2006, the event that will crown national champions in the women's, men's, pairs, and ice dance disciplines will be broadcast by NBC and streamed live on Peacock. Gateway Food Pantry in Arnold facing a food shortage with its reserve shelves nearly empty. Stuart McMillan spoke with their executive director, Patrick McKelvey.
Right now, the need is more food. And while families suffer from rising costs at the grocery stores and inflation, it hurts those trying to donate as well. That's evident when you look around the reserve shelves at Gateway Food Pantry.
We've had a $300,000 loss from our largest food source of food coming into the pantry. So when that happens, you can give up, you can give your clients less food, or you can go out to your community and ask for help.
McKelvey says the pantry is delivering empty bags to 20,000 households as a plea for donations.
Business Desk sponsored by Krentz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com. St. Luke's closed its De Pere Hospital location and wants to sell the property, but the city is freezing any development at the site. Officials were apparently taken by surprise by the announcement of the closure and now want time to decide what the city would like to see on the 47 acres. According to the Business Journal, a 90-day moratorium on any rezoning has been put in place, and they want to hear from residents what the best use of that site would be. The building and land or buildings and land are appraised at more than $36 million. The weather is sponsored by Anderson Hospital.
Mostly sunny and hot with a high of 95 this afternoon, then mainly clear tonight. It stays warm with a low of 71. Very hot, high 98 tomorrow with sunshine. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zaire on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is sunny and 83 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Serving the Metro East region with excellence, Anderson Hospital is proud to be named one of Newsweek's World's Best Hospitals for 2025. Experience world-class care close to home. AndersonHospital.org.
The Chris and Amy Show on KMOX, brought to you by St. Louis Union Station. St. Louis Wheel Park now offers 3 brand new amusement rides.
Okay, boys, here we go. Hey, from the jump now, let's go. Who's ready for some football? Football! Why are you smiling? Because I love football. I'm so glad football season's back.
Oh, I'm so glad football season is back, too. Even though my team's season is over. It's over. They're done. They're cooked. They stink.
There's so much passion in the National Football League.
John Hancock. Chris Ranji. It is time for our No Prize Pick'em Challenge. We do it every Friday. And what we do is we have a celebrity who joins the show. We have a listener who joins the show. Amy Marks Kors is out, so John Hancock is here. I'm Chris Ranji. And it's very simple, John.
Yes.
All we do, I'm going to go through about 8 or 9 games, depending on how many we can get through.
Yeah.
Just pick the winner.
All right.
And then we're going to go through the Sunday night game, and that will serve as our tiebreaker.
Not worried about point spreads. Just pick the winner.
Just pick the winner.
Piece of cake.
And you can give us your reason why. Tell us why you think this team is going to win. It could be a stupid reason. I don't care what. But the Sunday night game will serve as the tiebreaker and the score. We need the total score for that one. So total amount of points scored. Okay? All right. Let's get started. We have with us listener Josh from Fenton, who is on the show as our participant today. How's it going, Josh?
Going pretty good. How about y'all?
Great. How much do you know about football?
A lot.
I think a decent amount to play the game.
All right, good enough. That's
He's
all
a
we need.
Fenton football aficionado.
That's
is
right.
Josh.
basically.
Fenton football fan. We are joined today by our celebrity picker. It is Dennis Jankerson, the fire chief of St. Louis. And Dennis joins the show. How's it going, Chief?
It's going great. It's Friday. Hallelujah.
It is Friday. But there's no such thing as an off day with the fire department. So
I'm dying to know if the chief will pick the Chiefs when we get into this.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, that didn't sound encouraging.
I think I know where that's going.
Okay, so let's get started, fellas. You know what happens here. Josh, you know what happens if you win, right?
Yes, sir. Go into the next week, right?
You get to go into the next week. That's correct. But you get no prize otherwise. That's why it's called the no prize pick'em. All right, let's get started with a game that between two teams that are undefeated at the moment, but it's the Browns and the Ravens in Baltimore. The Ravens part of that game against the Bills on Sunday night, that improbable comeback. And
the Browns lost to the Bengals, didn't they?
The Browns lost. Both did I say undefeated?
Yes.
Both winless teams.
Winless
That's what I
teams.
meant to
There
say.
you go.
All right, Josh, between the Browns and Ravens, who wins?
Definitely going Ravens for that one.
Yeah, it seems like an easy one. What do you think, Dennis Jankerson?
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with the Ravens, too. They need to – I think they're going to be required to pick up their game a little bit.
They have to. After that game, it might be a curb stomping. That's what they call it. What do you think, John?
The Baltimore Ravens are going to run away with this game. They put 40 points on the board last week.
That's right. They did. Across the board, we are all going with the Baltimore Ravens. Now, the Seahawks on the road in Pittsburgh, where Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback, and he looked pretty good last week, unfortunately. So it is the Seahawks Steelers. Josh, what do you think?
Definitely Steelers. DK Metcalf has got to go for his vengeance against Seahawks.
Oh, there you go. Dennis Jankerson.
I got to go Steelers as well. I think Rodgers is still aching from last week.
Yeah, he probably is. What do you think, Dennis or John?
This game is going to the Seattle Seahawks in an upset. Unbelievable. Aaron Rodgers is going to be pressured. It's not going to go well. That Seahawk secondary is going to have 2 picks, and they are going to win this game.
You know what? I am right there with you. I think that Aaron Rodgers played his only good game of the year. That old bastard, he's gonna fall apart in week 2.
All right.
That's what I think. All right, here we go. My understanding is that Josh is originally from Nashville. Is that correct?
I'm actually from here, but I just moved back to from
Okay.
Nashville.
Well, how about this? This is a matchup of the Super Bowl, the one you'll remember, the Rams and Titans. The Rams are on the road in Tennessee this weekend, Josh.
Man, there's not any way the Titans are winning anything, especially not against the Rams. Definitely going Rams.
Okay. Chief Jankerson.
Well, being that I truly do represent St. Louis, there's no way I can pick Los Angeles Rams. So I got to go Tennessee.
All right.
I'll fall on the sword.
That a boy. All right, John.
Am I accurate in saying Bo Nix is the quarterback of the Tennessee Titans?
Bo Nix is the quarterback of the Denver Broncos.
The Denver Broncos. That's right. Who defeated the Tennessee Titans last week?
They defeated the Titans, yeah.
This game is going to the Tennessee Titans because Bo Nix is not their quarterback.
All right. Well, I'm going with the Rams here. They're still very well coached, and whatever. Look, I'm gonna pick a loser a little bit later. So I want to pick a winner for once. That's okay. Speaking of losers, how about this game? Giants in Dallas against the Cowboys. We saw what the Cowboys or what the Packers now look like after acquiring Micah Parsons. That team looks like a world beater, unfortunately. So the Cowboys are no more Parsons. They host the Giants. Josh, what do you think?
I would never pick Cowboys, but they look strong. I'm going Cowboys.
All right. Dennis Jankerson.
Yep, I got to go Cowboys as well, only because the main person who runs the fire department first floor said you better pick the Cowboys. So I'm going to follow her lead, and she's already wearing her cowboy paraphernalia.
Oh man, that's not acceptable. You should make a rule. You're the chief. No cowboy stuff in the office.
I know my place. Believe me.
Okay, very good. John, what do you think?
This game is going to the team from New Jersey.
Wow.
The New York Football Giants win this game 27-14.
20. We don't need the score, but okay. I'll remember this. Mark the tape because I want to see if John is right about that in the end. You know what? I'm going to pick Dallas in this game at home. I think they are going to get their first win of the season. It will be at the expense of the Giants, who are going to start 0-2. Now it is time to visit with the Broncos and Colts. These are two undefeated teams. The Broncos might end up being pretty good this year, actually. So what do you think? The Broncos on the road in Indianapolis, Josh?
That one's actually really hard. I got to go Colts. I don't know. I feel like it should be Broncos, but Colts. I got a gut feeling.
Chief?
I got to go Denver. I like the Broncos moving on.
All right.
Let's see. Bo Nix is the quarterback of the Broncos. This game is going to go to the team who boasts the home field of Lucas Oil Stadium. The Indianapolis Colts win this game by a score of 18-6.
18-6, okay. You don't have to give the score.
I'm just trying to do my part, buddy.
I'm going to go with the Denver Broncos in this one, and it's mostly out of spite because I think they might have a better quarterback than my team does. Getting really worried about that. All right, Panthers on the road in Arizona will face the Cardinals behind quarterback Kyler Murray. All right, Josh, who wins this game?
I got a Cardinals for that one.
Arizona it is. Dennis Jankerson.
Same way, Cardinals.
Okay. What do you think, John Hancock?
The surprise team of the NFL in 2025 is none other than the Arizona Cardinals, who are going to go 2-0 this weekend.
Wow. That's amazing. Okay, the Cardinals, I agree with you, John. I think Arizona wins this one. We are all across the board on the same page, just like we were with the Baltimore pick from earlier. All right, here we go. It's an late afternoon game. The Eagles and the Chiefs. Eagles and the Chiefs. This is a very, very good matchup. The Chiefs, are they going to start the
Super Bowl rematch?
Yeah, the Super Bowl rematch. Are the Chiefs going to start the season 0-2, Josh?
Man, I am a diehard Chiefs fan, but I'm also realistic, and I think the Eagles might have that one.
Uh-oh. All right, Dennis Jankerson.
Well, if I go with what everybody on the second floor of headquarters is talking about, they all want the Eagles, so I'm going to upset the apple cart, and I'm going to go with the Chiefs.
Wow, okay.
The Chief has taken the Chiefs, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, you picked it.
Absolutely.
Breaking that right here on the Voice of St. Louis. Well, this game, Rons, it's not going to be close.
No.
It's going to be 38-24.
Just like the Super Bowl?
Yes. And it's going to be won by the Philadelphia Eagles. That is correct. On the road against the Kansas City 0-2 Kansas City Chiefs.
You know, you were talking about this before the show that you think the Chiefs might not be any good this year.
I think the gravy train road has come to a close.
You know what? I have a feeling you might be right. I think it's over.
We do have Dana Hughes on.
Yeah, we'll talk to Dana Hughes. I'm not going to tell him he said this. I am also taking the Philadelphia Eagles. I think they win this game, and I think it's fairly simple. All right, now this is the worst game of the weekend because the worst team in football is playing, and that will be the Bears on the road in Detroit. The Bears have the former offensive coordinator of the Lions as their new head coach, Ben Johnson, and he is 0-1 to start his career as head coach. Josh, who wins this game?
I got to go Lions. Bears have Burden from Mizzou now, but I think Lions are still going to lock it down.
Luther Burden had a nice return in his first game.
Did.
Dennis Jankerson.
He did. He's really good.
Yeah, Bears, Lions.
Yeah, that's the same way. I mean, I like watching Luther Burden last week, but yeah, I got to go with Detroit on this one.
All right, so Detroit wins this one. What do you think, John Hancock?
There's trouble brewing in Motor City, I'm afraid. And
trouble for whom?
For the Motor City Lions.
What?
Who exceeded expectations just a year ago, but unfortunately on this day, on this Sunday afternoon, the Chicago Bears are going to pull the upset victory by a score of 27-10.
Wow, it's happening. The Bears win? John's picking the Bears?
That's right.
All right. I have to do it. I got to pick my Bears.
There it is.
I have to
There
pick
you
my
go.
Bears. I think that the last week was a fluke. This is the week. It's going to happen. Oh, sorry. I'm picking the Bears.
Right.
They got to win at some point, don't they?
Well, they are. They're not going to go in 18 or 17 or whatever they're playing these days.
Well, you don't know that. I didn't think they were going to lose like 10 in a row last year, but they did.
They did.
Okay, final game. This is the Sunday game. Falcons, Sunday night game. Falcons in Minnesota to face the Vikings. So give me the winner and then give us the total amount of points you think the teams will score. The over-under, in case you're wondering, is 44.5. So that's what the odds makers think, that it'll be around 44 points. So what do you think, Josh?
McCarthy's looking pretty strong. I got to go Vikings. And we'll go, I was going to say 44 points.
All right.
I'll stick with 44 points.
44? Did you say 44
Yeah,
or 42? Okay. All right.
44.
44 it is. Dennis Jankerson, who wins between the Vikings and Falcons?
Yeah, I've always liked Minnesota. So I'm going to go with Minnesota, and I'm going to go take the over as well.
So how many?
I'm going to say we're probably going to hit 50.
50 points. All right. John?
Well, this one is going to be won by that horn-festooned helmet of the Minnesota Vikings by a score of 26-23 on a final second Viking field goal, giving me 49 points.
49 points. I'm going to pick the Falcons because, please, God, don't let the Minnesota Vikings win again. Come on, man. I'm taking the under in this game, however. I am going with 42 points. The Vikings win this one behind Michael Penix Jr. That's what's going to happen. I am positive of that. All right, so that's it, fellas. We have all the picks. They are in. Josh, if you win, you get to come back next week. That's all you get. Dennis Jankerson, you get nothing except I heard that our friend Josh here is an EMT and he is working to become a paramedic. So could you please hire him?
Depends on if he wins or not.
I'll take that wager. If I win, there's an interview.
There you go.
All right, there it is. The chief said it. If there is a win by Josh, he gets an interview. So can't go back on it now. Dennis Jankerson, fire chief here in St. Louis. We appreciate you as always. Thank you for being with us today.
Have a great weekend and stay safe.
Josh, good luck to you, and we will talk to you next week if you win this week.
Then I will see you all next week.
All right.
All right. Oh, that's
There you
perfect.
go. Hey, when I have my heart attack, I hope Josh shows up.
Well, maybe you should be here next week. It might be Josh coming in studio next
Come
week.
on,
He can,
Josh.
if you have the grabber in studio, he
Love
can
to
help
have
you
you.
out. All right. We appreciate it, fellas. That was a lot of fun, and we'll see who wins this one. But I'm not feeling great. We do have Danon Hughes coming up at 11:30. We will talk to him about the Chiefs game, which we just talked about. They'll take on the Eagles. Big game happening late this afternoon, and a game that you can hear on 97.1, our sister station. It's John Hancock and Chris Ranji today on KMOX.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Our firm handles hundreds of crash cases involving semi-trucks every year. A crash case involving semis is much different, and if you don't know what you're doing, you can leave lots of money on the table. Many times there is separate insurance for the cab and for the trailer. Sometimes there are actually layers of other insurances and excess insurance that some lawyers may not know about because they don't see that many cases. We see these cases every day. Also, there are federal laws governing the hours a driver may drive in a 24-hour period and logs that are required. A crash case involving a semi-truck is a totally different animal than a simple car crash. We have lawyers who only handle these cases. It's all they do. Rolling the dice with the wrong law firm can be disastrous. Call us on your cell phone at Pound Law, pound 529. It's so easy. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want to boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes. This is your last chance to live in a brand new home at the Preserve, located at Mackenzie and Watson Roads. We have 5 outstanding homes ready for move-in at amazing prices and special financing as low as 4.75%. Choose from ranch or 1.5-story homes backing to woods. Our luxurious Turnberry display is now for sale. Also, get up to $10,000 in free closing costs. Isn't it time to move up to McKelvey?
An important message from S&L Coins. S&L Coins pays top dollar for your gold and silver coins, old currency, gold-filled jewelry, scrap gold and silver, silver plating, gold and silver bullion. Get a quote with a call to S&L at 544-3600. S&L Coins, 544-3600. Or visit S&L Coins at 9300 Gravois, just east of Mackenzie. Open 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 Saturday. Before you sell, call S&L 544-3600.
For residential and commercial heating repair, service, maintenance, or installation, contact Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Installation. With over 50 years of HVAC service, get in your comfort zone this winter. Visit aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
It's the Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX. Sponsored by the St. Louis Aquarium. Explore the St. Louis Aquarium at Union Station.
Gas House Gang coming up at 12 o'clock. Mike Claiborne, Matt Pauley, and me, Chris Ranji, will be on that.
About?
Well, we could talk sports.
Yeah.
Actually, pretty much entirely sports.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that. We've got the Cardinals starting a series against the Brewers tonight on the road. So we'll discuss that, I'm sure. We have the football season, week 2, college football. Mizzou is ranked. The Illini are in the top 10.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to discuss with those guys. John Rooney joins the show at 12:30. In case I didn't mention that, I got John Hancock
Mizzou
with me.
playing this? It's Hazelwood North, is it that they're
Mizzou?
Yeah.
Yes, they are playing Hazelwood North tomorrow. You're going to be watching that game?
Oh, I won't miss a snap.
They've got Louisiana, not Louisiana State. It's Louisiana.
Just Louisiana?
Just Louisiana.
That's it?
Yep.
Not Monroe?
Nope.
Not Baton Rouge?
Nope. Just Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Tomorrow at noon, the Fighting Illini will play, I guess, is this Western Michigan? It is Western Michigan, the Broncos.
Oh, yes. Never heard of them.
So I've heard of them. I feel like I knew people who went there. And Central Michigan, fire up chips. That's what they say, the chip
There it
one.
is.
All right, so we learned the identity of the suspected killer of Charlie Kirk, who was arrested today, turned in by his family, turned in by his father, in fact. And, John, I think that the important thing, as we go back to this, is that we all try to, at least from my perspective, and that's why I keep praising the governor of Utah, Spencer Cox, for his messaging, which has pretty much been, we all need to cool it. Everybody. We're not blaming sides here on this one. We don't think that there was a firm political ideology, that he was a left wing or right wing or whatever. We know what was written on the bullet casings, but that does not mean he was a Democrat voting for Democrats. We don't know that he was voting for Republicans. We have no idea what he was doing in that regard, but it kind of doesn't matter because the political violence exists across the spectrum.
It does.
And we all need to calm it the hell down.
Yeah, and this is a case where this kid, he didn't leave some manifesto or list of, so far as we know at this point. I would think if they had uncovered something like that, we would have known that by now. So it's still kind of a puzzle, and he doesn't seem to fit the demographic characteristic you would think. I mean, he does in terms of being young and white and male. But it looks like, his father I saw online is a minister of some sort. And it looks, he comes from a stable 2-parent family, ostensibly. So there's a lot to learn about this young fellow. And we will be learning about it in the hours and days and weeks ahead.
Yeah. And again, we know that his parents, at least we have read that his parents are registered Republicans. They had guns in the house. That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean that he was a Republican. It just, I think we have to, generally speaking, we just have to be better about this. And it does not really matter which side has the most violence. It really doesn't matter at this point, because the cycle has to stop somewhere.
Correct.
And the blaming isn't going to stop it. It's just going to have to be everybody saying, you know what? All right, that's it. No more of this. I mean, we know the FBI for years had been warning that right-wing extremism was one of the greatest dangers to the country. That's the FBI's report. You can go look it up. It's very easy. But I don't care anymore. I don't care who is more responsible for what. I know it exists everywhere, and I know we all need to just stand up and say, stop it. That's it.
Well, and there is nothing to indicate in the way our culture is trending right now. There's nothing to indicate that anything is going to change here, I don't think. Yeah, I think you're still going to have voices, inflammatory voices on all sides of the political spectrum, and they're still going to exist, and they're still going to inflame. And some very tiny percentage of the public is going to act out on those passions in a way like we just saw the other day in Utah. And it's sad and horrible. And, at some point, you systematically turn off so many people to the political system that they just give up on it, stop voting, stop participating. And all that does is embolden and give louder voice to the folks on the extreme fringes. And there's something of that's happening in the country electorally as well right now.
The problem, and maybe it's even the main problem, is that it is lucrative to be an extremist for some of these people. Now you got folks at home who are consuming all of this rhetoric. They're reading on Twitter, they're reading blogs, watching videos, watching YouTube channels, listening to podcasts. But it's the podcasters and it's the YouTubers and it's the people who are on social media, the prominent ones who are actually cashing in. And a lot of times they don't believe the stuff they're even saying. They might believe it to a degree, but maybe not as extreme as they take it, but it's making them money. So from their perspective, why not do it, right?
And it's making them money because there are numbers.
Because people are consuming.
There are people that are consuming that, and there are numbers of them that you can monetize, and it's happening. And I don't think it's going to stop.
Why would it? If you're making money off it?
Yep.
Unless you hit a moment where you have some clarity and think this is bad. This is bad for the country, but I don't see that happening. That's just optimistic thinking.
Yep, I'm with you.
John Hancock, Chris Ranji. When we come back, we will talk to Chiefs radio analyst and former receiver for Kansas City, Danon Hughes. The Chiefs have a big game against the Eagles on Sunday. Danon is next on KMOX.
This isn't your typical lunchtime baseball chatter. This is the Gas House Game.
I'll say this. Here's my perspective.
Tom Ackerman, Chris Ranji, Mike Claiborne, and Bernie Miklasz bring smart, informed Cards talk. And every Tuesday,
we welcome in the manager of the Cardinals, Oliver Marmol.
You want real Cardinals conversation? You're in the right place. The Gas House Gang, weekdays at noon on 104.1 FM KMOX, the voice of baseball.
Sunny and 85 degrees in St. Louis. AccuWeather Real Feel is 94. We are at the high right now. It's going to be mid to high 90s for the next several days in St. Louis.
This report is sponsored by Metro Transit.
Get a Metro Transit $5 day pass from Metro St. Louis and go anywhere Metro goes, no matter how far or how long, all day long. Super chill, clean, safe, and reliable, not to mention AC and free Wi-Fi. Go to metrostl.org to get your pass today.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Also that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, this is Debbie Monterey, and some of you may know that I moved my mother to St. Louis about a year ago because she's aging and I needed to help her with day-to-day things, including getting her estate planning together. I recently met with the folks at Jansky Law. Martin Jansky is an elder law attorney, and that's exactly what he does. Everything from your power of attorney to advanced estate planning, including probate. Maybe you have your estate documents completed, but a nursing home could be in the future for you or a loved one. Jansky Law can help with pre-crisis and nursing home planning as well. Martin Jansky has 30 years of experience, young or old, no matter what your age. If you love your family and want to make sure that your wishes happen or help them ensure theirs do, call Jansky Law at 314-881-6141 or online at janskylaw.com. That's with a J, JANSKY law.com. Again, JANSKY law.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisement.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight, focusing on the Siteman Kids program at St. Louis Children's Hospital, and Dr. Mohammed Abdul-Baki.
I think we're definitely one of the top brain tumor programs in the whole country and in the world as well. We are the top program in Missouri that has trained pediatric neuro-oncologists.
Thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, go to siteman.wustl.edu.
Your garage door is the largest piece of moving equipment in your home. When it needs help, call the experts at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Their certified technicians repair all brands of doors and openers, and you can even schedule evening and weekend service. Just call 314-781-5200 and always look for the red ribbon. It's your assurance you've got the genuine, the original Overhead Door, the most trusted garage door company in St. Louis since 1926. For same-day service, schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. 314-781-5200.
Hey, it's Jeff at Sachs Financial. I got a free event coming up to maximize your Social Security, September 22nd and 23rd. Come meet me in person and find out how to maximize your Social Security. Sign up at retiresafestl.com/events.
The countdown to kickoff starts here. Friday's focus on Mizzou, the Chiefs, and the NFL, only on KMOX.
Welcome to the Red Kingdom. Yeah.
Wasn't a great start for the Kansas City Chiefs in week one. They lose in Brazil to the Los Angeles Chargers. Now it is time for week two and a Super Bowl rematch. It is the Eagles in Kansas City this weekend, and a game that you can hear on our sister station, 97.1 FM. We have Danon Hughes, who was on that broadcast, and he is a former wide receiver for the Chiefs and with us on KMOX. Good morning, Danon.
Good morning. Good morning. Good to be back here. Good to be back from South America, back on U.S. soil, and almost to a normal routine week as we get ready for the first game here at GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium. So I'm pumped.
Well, pumped is you should be. You've got a rematch of the Super Bowl coming your way. The Philadelphia Eagles look pretty good their first week, and it's can't say.
Hold on, Super Bowl. Did we? I don't remember. I don't remember that game.
I must have misspoken. But you've got a game, and it's second week of the season, so you can't say this is a must-win game. And it's not a division game for Kansas City, but it's a game that I think a lot of Kansas City fans are going to be on the edge of their seats, feeling like they really, really, really need a win here. Is that sentiment permeating the practice schedule this week?
Actually not. I don't think that there's a desperation level. I guess maybe on a scale of 1 to 10, desperation maybe a 6-ish. That's just my assessment, if that at all, just because we want to start fast and finish strong. But if you don't start fast, you better finish strong. And that's the end of the season. And we have been known. I mean, this was only Patrick Mahomes' 5th loss in the month of September throughout his entire career.
Wow.
So we've been down this road before. Just a few years ago, we started the season off 3-4, losing a couple of our first 3 games. And then if you go back to the last Super Bowl winning season, we lost the opening week to the Detroit Lions at home. And we were still able to reel off enough and get enough momentum to go to a Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl. So I feel like because of that recent history, there's not a high level of desperation like I'm sure there is around the league with other 0-1 teams. So, yeah, we want to win. I think it would be huge to boost our confidence if we beat the team that supposedly beat us in some Super Bowl that happened. But if we beat them, then I think there's a boosting in confidence.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's the end of the world.
Yeah, and what did you see in last week's game against the Chargers? There were some positive things that came out of that game, even though it was a loss. Are there things that you saw developing that you think are going to become a strength of this Kansas City football team?
Yeah, I do think so. First of all, we saw a huge uptick in kickoff returns versus touchbacks, and we are now 7th in the NFL in kickoff return average. We're over 29 yards, so that's a positive that they're going to kick the ball in play in the landing area, and Tyquan Thornton or Nico Remigio, they both do a solid job. So I think that's going to be a good punch for our offense in regards to a jolt that we may need throughout this season. And then even though we didn't get them to turn the ball over, I thought we started the game slow, but we made some adjustments defensively that put us in a position to win. And not to besmirch anything or throw shade at the Chargers, but I think we can all say that on a scale of 1 to 10, as you can tell, I like the scales thing. But on a scale of 1 to 10, they probably played an 8, 9, maybe 8.5 game, and we probably played a 3 or 4, and yet we lost by 6 points.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that's some moral victory, because there are no moral victories. But when you talk about positive takeaways, if Chris Jones is disciplined in his rush on 3rd down, Patrick Mahomes gets the ball back with just a little bit less than 2 minutes left in the game, down by 6. Do you think they were scared? Yes. Yes, I can answer that question. They would have probably been, knees buckling at the thought of Patrick Mahomes getting the ball back with an opportunity to go down and win. So there were definitely positives. Hollywood Brown stepping up, 16 targets, 10 catches. Now with Xavier Worthy kind of day-to-day. Who knows when he'll be back? Rashee Rice serving the suspension. To have the emergence of Hollywood Brown as part of the offense, I thought was a plus as well.
The last time the Chiefs were a home underdog was back in 2022 against the Bills. Buffalo won that game. And I say that under the Patrick Mahomes era. Mahomes, that was the last time. It's been 3 years since they have been a home underdog. So they've got the Eagles coming in here who just won the Super Bowl that you do not remember. And I think that, this is clearly the matchup of the weekend, I would say.
Yeah.
There are a lot of good matchups this weekend, but this is the big one.
Yeah, I think it's a big one. I don't think it'd be any indication of how good we can be or will be. I'd like to see some improvement specifically in our rushing attack. The fact that Patrick Mahomes led the team in rushing, if you consider through regular season, he's only done that twice to lead the team in rushing, and we lost both games. So I'd like to see that uptick with Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt, and us commit to that. I think that will do our defense a great service, keeping the play clock on our side and the time of possession on our side. And then also just instill some physicality, because that game in February that we lost against the Eagles, they were more physical. They had a better physical presence. They imposed their will against us in every phase. And I feel like if you're going to take a punch like that, you better come back out throwing some haymakers back at them. We didn't have that chance to do that in New Orleans, so this is the first opportunity to do so. And I feel like if last week there was any indication of the need for a run game to be efficient, I think it was indicative of that. So I feel like there's definitely an opportunity here, not just to win the game, but to reestablish ourselves as the top echelon team in the AFC West and in the NFL.
Travis Kelce had the touchdown reception against the Chargers, but really didn't factor all that often into the mix. Do you see an expanded role for his targets come this Sunday?
I do. The Eagles employ a lot of zone defense. So I feel like Patrick Mahomes, the great thing about Patrick, or one of the great things about Patrick and Travis's relationship, and this is speaking from a former wide receiver, you guys have heard me say on these airwaves, the two things that you're supposed to do as a receiver or tight end with a quarterback: be where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there, and don't confuse the quarterback. Right?
Yep.
That's literally it. You catch the ball, yeah, that's part of it. That's why you got to this level. But be where you're supposed to be and don't confuse the quarterback. And when you consider the relationship that those guys have, and when Patrick knows where Travis is going, and it may be off script, but they know where each other are, they know where they're going, and they're able to make those plays, that's usually against zone coverage. Patrick knows how to find the open windows, manipulate the defense with his eyes, and Travis knows how to find those open little gaps to be able to make those easy throws for Patrick. So I feel like this is a game that can emerge even more.
All right. So, this is completely off topic, but I'm going to ask you because you're a football expert and you're talking about, basically simplifying the game for a quarterback. How much of the Monday night game did you watch? Bears.
You're talking Bears.
Stupid Bears. Yeah.
I watched some of it. I didn't watch all of it. I watched some of it. I started to actually go and do something different as the Vikings were coming back.
That's what I should have done.
But I watched a little. Yeah, I watched a little bit of it.
All right. So I thought maybe you know what Caleb's problem is, but I guess you didn't watch enough, so never mind.
Yeah, actually, I do.
Oh, good. Tell me, what is it?
I think he fixates on one receiver too long, and when he goes through his progression, when he gets back to number 2 or 3, he looks to be a little bit jolted, I guess. It looks a little bit off, and then he starts to move around, possibly unnecessarily, and then he tries to unload those balls. So I feel like whether it's the progression, the quick decisions is what's going to help him, and I feel like that's what is needed with his head coach and offensive coordinator to get them in more positions of plant your right foot throw, 3-step, 5-step, 7-step drops, whatever it is, shotgun, 2 steps after the shotgun, plant and throw. Get him into that rhythm. Get him into positions where he can read that quickly and trust the receivers immediately, as opposed to improvising like he does too much.
Yeah, it's a really good observation. In the modern game, the majority of quarterbacks have running ability. And so what you see with a guy like Caleb is and he got sacked so many times last year, you almost can't blame the guy. But it's that run. And Patrick Mahomes is a quarterback who is a gifted runner, but it doesn't seem to me, and maybe my memory's foggy, but I don't remember him having to go through an evolution where he had to transition from that run first to becoming a passer. Because I feel like he's been that way from day one.
Yeah, he was always pass first. If you look at his highlights at Texas Tech, he was airing the ball out all the time, and then he would run to buy himself time. I played with Rich Gannon, who was like that as well. He would run. He had the running ability, great speed, elusive in the open field, but more times than not, he would run to buy time to throw. And there's quarterbacks out there that do that. Josh Allen is one. Lamar Jackson is a run-to-run guy. But there are those quarterbacks out there. John Elway used to be like that. He would run to buy time. And so many other quarterbacks were like that as well. But those are the ones that come to mind. So Caleb just has to be that guy and transform to that and trust his blocking. I think quarterbacks, not just Caleb, but a lot of quarterbacks, even Patrick to some extent, get in positions where they assume a breakdown and they vacate the pocket when it's not necessary to do so. And had they had the patience to wait just one more second, they probably would have been able to see the field better and not get into hurry-up mode.
Chiefs, Eagles, 3:25 is the kickoff on Sunday. You can hear the game on our sister station, 97.1 FM. Dane and Hughes, we love talking to you every week here on KMOX. Thanks for visiting with us, and good luck Sunday.
No problem. Have a great weekend. Go Chiefs.
Danon is a former wide receiver for the Chiefs and Chiefs radio analyst. And again, you can hear him on the call of the game. 3:25 kickoff, 97.1 FM. It's John Hancock and me. The Gas House Gang is coming up at 12 o'clock with Claves and Paulie and me. John Rooney joins the show at 12:30, so you might as well keep it here on 104.1 FM KMOX.
When life happens and you need to sell your St. Louis area home, call trusted realtor Gloria Liu with your home sold guaranteed realty. Gloria is St. Louis's real estate expert with more than 22 years of experience and expertise, helping you sell quickly and for the most money.
Selling your home can be so stressful, especially if life happens, like a sudden job change, a passing of a loved one, or a growing family. Knowing exactly how much your home will sell in today's market is the first step. Then I back it up with an upfront written guarantee. My guarantee is simple and easy to understand. If I can't sell your home at our agreed upon price and time frame, I'll buy it myself.
When life happens, the name to remember is Gloria Liu, your home sold guaranteed realty. I strongly suggest you call her right now at 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or visit gloriahasthebuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
It's back, and you're invited to join us in Forest Park, September 19th and 20th, for the 53rd Annual Great Forest Park Balloon Race Weekend, presented by PNC Bank. Attendance is free, and the number of memories and photos you can capture is endless. Special thanks to New Ground International and Blue Moon Brewing Company. The 53rd Annual Great Forest Park Balloon Race Weekend. For more details, visit the events page at KMOX.com.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friend Mark Cantor at Cantor Injury Law. So as you know, I'm a lawyer, so I take this very seriously. Mark is a great attorney. He has a great team. He is from St. Louis. He is local. Call 314-628-9999 or visit CantorInjuryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Your home equity could vanish almost overnight, stolen by scammers who forge a deed and transfer it out of your name. The FBI calls it house stealing, and the worst part is you may not know it until it's too late. Find out if you're already a victim now at HomeTitleLock.com. Use promo code RADIO for a 30-day free trial, a title scan, and access to a title specialist, a $250 value. Go to HomeTitleLock.com now. Promo code RADIO.
You've got a ton of equity in your home. You're sitting on a gold mine. You could do so much with all that cash, like travel, invest it, or pay off debt, but you can't touch it unless you sell your home. But you really don't want to move. And besides, homes are sitting on the market for a long time these days. You're trapped, right? Well, not with TrueHold. With TrueHold, you can cash out your equity in as little as 30 days. And listen, you don't have to move. You can stay in the home you love as a renter. So that's TrueHold's Sell and Stay program. You cash out your entire home's value and stay put. TrueHold even covers property taxes, property insurance, and essential repairs. So imagine using that equity to travel, invest, or pay off debt and stay in your home. It's brilliant, especially in this slow market. You get an all-cash offer now by calling 1-855-300-9993. You can also visit TrueHold.com, the smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's TrueHold.com.
Guys, Glover here for my friends at my favorite sports fantasy app, Underdog. So baseball's still going on. Football is back, and Underdog is the best place to select entries and win money all season long. You can play right now in Missouri. Playing on Underdog is super easy. Just choose whether your favorite player will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. Get your entries right, and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. You can play with as little as $1. Download the Underdog app today and sign up with promo code Glover to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code Glover. Millions of fans have already won billions making plays on Underdog, and you could be next. Underdog, make plays, win money. Must be 18 and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. If you're concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
The Chris and Amy Show is video streaming now on KMOX's YouTube, X, and Facebook pages. Click and subscribe. Now, a look back at this week's Chris and Amy Show, out of context.
There were some furries visiting. Think they might have been a couple of BDSM furries?
I don't know. I feel like people think that when I'm buying toilet paper that my poo is imminent. Like I need it right now.
Hello, I'm Bob Smith.
I don't want that.
I'm Banksy.
I don't want that. I just want to
pudgy.
assume, do you know that they have lost the most games of anybody in the conference?
I know. I think that's great. It's
No, it
great.
isn't.
It smells like maybe sewage exploded.
I think a lot of times the public shaming is good.
Hoosiers are everywhere. You can't escape the Hoosier.
He got his ass.
Well, it's always a fun time when we try to guess our out of context comments from the week. John?
Piecing together the unpieceable.
All right. So let's play a little game here. There's no Amy, so John's got to fill in.
Oh boy.
John's got to guess some of these clips. Ron, we're going to start with you. Can you give some context to this?
No, I feel like people think that when I'm buying toilet paper that my poo is imminent. Like I need it right now. Okay, so this was me. Because I say I have my toilet paper delivered to my house, I don't like to go get it at the store. Because even though everybody has to buy toilet paper, I have this weird feeling that people are looking at me with the toilet paper and thinking, oh man, this guy's got to go right now, doesn't he? Yeah, it's very.
We were talking about having to go out and buy embarrassing things as a punishment for the football
Well,
pick.
toilet paper is not embarrassing.
Well, it is to him.
To me, it is.
It's embarrassing to eat toilet paper.
It's very weird, I know.
Interesting.
Yep.
Right. John,
Although I do like the ones that have the little curly hair off.
I love it. They're great.
That's incredible.
Isn't it?
Why didn't we think of that sooner?
I can't believe we didn't.
All right, go ahead.
I want to see if either of you guys can give some context to this.
There were some furries visiting. Think they might have been a couple of BDSM furries?
John, do you even know what a BDSM furry is?
No.
That's
I'm
for the
going to
best.
say that Amy went to a function
Convention.
at the public library.
No, it was the Clayton Art Fair.
Well, it's very close.
That's right. Yeah. She
That's
ran
right.
into some furries there, she says, who were wearing black leather, I think.
Yes, the black leather.
Furries are people that think
furries.
they're a cat or something.
Yeah,
They're going to the Clayton Art Fair.
Yeah.
Oh.
I
Ron,
remember that.
You're up next with this quote.
So I think a lot of times the public shaming is good.
What were we talking about?
I can't remember the exact topic.
I think it was the Chicago Bears.
No. It was about shaming people for their bad we were talking about the guy who has the Twitter account or the social media account where he confronts people who leave their shopping carts wherever in the parking lot.
It was spurred on by the Phillies Karen who took the ball from the fans.
Yes. Yeah, you saw that, right, John?
She's forgotten by now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Poor thing.
Nobody ever identified her, did
they did.
Oh, they did? I never got the identification.
Well, there was a name out there attributed to her, whether it actually was her.
There was one person who was a teacher, and even the school district had to put out a statement that it wasn't her.
Right.
So, yeah.
One last one real quick. Why did Sean Malone say this?
He got his ass.
My sheriff. He was talking about my sheriff, Alfred Montgomery.
That's it. Good job.
I couldn't have helped you there.
John Hancock, do you want to be part of my group? Save our sheriff?
I'm in. No, I'm not in.
You don't want to save Alfred Montgomery?
He needs to go, buddy.
Oh, come on, man.
He needs to go.
I don't know.
Although now that gambling's legal, he can roll those dice anywhere he wants.
He could buy all the golf carts in the world.
Yeah.
All right, John Hancock, a lot of fun, man.
Always
Thanks for
a
hanging out
pleasure.
with me today. You're with me on Monday.
I am.
Most of next week, actually.
Most of next week.
All right, John Hancock and Chris Ranji, appreciate you listening to the Chris and Amy show. Amy on vacation. Anything you missed is on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts, but we're back with you Monday at 9 o'clock on 104.1 FM KMOX. The Gas House Gang is next.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to